There are no co-hosts. There's no guest. This show, I'm in a hotel room in Burbank, California, because I had to flee for my life yesterday about 6:30 in the evening. Now, you've all heard about the Malibu fire and the Pacific Palisades fire and the Santa Monica and Pasadena and Altadena and all that. So we'll break it down, but for those, so we're doing a little different format. Obviously, I'm not allowed back in my home. The power is out at the studio. Thank God I did 20 minutes on power poles yesterday because the power poles are all down because of the winds and the power's out at the studio. Either the power goes out because the poles go down or they shut the power preemptively so that when the poles go down and the wires go down, it doesn't start a fire. But anyway, I'm sitting here in my hotel room in Burbank, California. Joe Prano's here and Dawson's here, so occasionally they may shout something out or I may yell something at them, but they're not mic'd up. So again, it's a little catch as catch can over here. So just so people kind of get the lay of the land who may not be from these parts. Malibu's Malibu. I think you got that pretty good. The Palisades are nice and a little more family-oriented and sort of family-style homes. Carson Daly had a place over there in the Palisades. And then you get into Santa Monica, which is like a little more residential, but still very expensive and very exclusive. And the Palisades are basically the canyon in between Malibu and Santa Monica. The average house in Malibu is probably $8 million, maybe 12, I don't know. Average Palisades probably 6, and the average Santa Monica is probably 4.5 or something, in the millions. Now, there are thousands of structures, or at least 1,000 structures down in Malibu, so says the news. So I'll break down the timeline, and then I'll get into some specifics, and then I have a lot of thoughts. So I hope you're ready to hear them. I jinxed myself because they opened an Equinox gym on Sunset Boulevard and PCH. Sunset is Sunset and it goes all the way down and just dies at PCH. And for months, I've been seeing a sign that said Equinox Gym coming soon. And I live, 2 miles the other direction, but it's right on my way to work. And I got this Amex card, which gets me a free membership. And I was like, I'm going to use the hell out of that place every day before I go to work. I'm just going to stop there, take a sauna, cold plunge, take a Pilates class or whatever. So I honored my word. It opened a couple of weeks ago. And by cracky, I've been doing something I never do, which is work out in the morning on my way in. I do what winners do. Winners work out in the morning. Mediocre to mid-pack winners work out in the evening, and then losers never work out. That's kind of the break. The real winners are I get up at 5:30 and I swim 10 miles at the gym. Those people are they're the ones in the tampon commercials that are just taking over the world. And I decided I want to be a winner. So I was going to get up, I'll work out in the morning, I'll take the cold plunge, and I'm going to use the hell out of this place. And I announced to the heavens, I'm on like 5 days in a row. I've never done that before. And I step out to the balcony. It's up like 4 stories, getting ready to go to my car. And it's right on Sunset, right at PCH. And I just look to the left. I see huge plumes of smoke. And if you go back and you go, oh, they think the fire started between 10:30 and 11 o'clock or about 10:45 on whatever morning. That's exactly when I stepped out there because I had to be at the studio at 11:45 to do a segment with Drew. So it was going to take me about an hour, so I gave myself a little extra time. But right then, I was right there. I stood right there and watched a fire start. Then I got on PCH, and I drove toward the shop, and then I went in, had a long day of podcasting, and then finished up about 4:30 or 5, and then got back in the car. But by this time, they'd closed off PCH at Topanga. Topanga is closer towards Santa Monica and the 10 freeway and the pier and all that. And so basically what it would be is if you go on PCH, you start in Santa Monica, you'll cross Sunset, you'll cross Topanga, and then eventually you'll get down toward the Ventura County line at the end, but all the way through, you go through the Colonies, you go through Malibu, you go by Pepperdine, you go by Point Doom and Zuma Beach and all the famous beaches and Paradise Cove and everything like that. So I'm down further away from Santa Monica. But anyway, by the time it's time to drive back, well, now I can't come in the way I normally come in, but I can go the other direction where Pepperdine is, through Las Virgenes, through the canyon, come around and go backside. I make it back to my condo. Now, I'm not that worried about it because the condo's built in 91 and it's untouched by fire. So we got 35 years of not being burnt by a fire. So you think, well, all right, you're in a position that the fires don't normally get to because there's fires every 10 minutes. There was a fire 3.5 weeks ago. So there's a fire in Malibu every 10 minutes, but this place has been there since Paula Abdul was on the top of the charts. So you think you're going to be okay. I come in, eat a couple of pot stickers, ass hits the sofa. I'm in there for about 20 minutes, and my girlfriend says she just got the alert on her phone. It's time to evacuate. And I say, really? I just drove here an hour and a half in traffic from Glendale. Where are we evacuating to? She said, well, why don't we just go back to the studio in Glendale? And it's got a bathroom, it's sofas, it's comfortable, it's got a television set. And I go, okay, so I'm just going to turn around and drive back to Glendale. Yes, what are our choices? And then I go, okay. And I'm waiting for the power to go off because emotionally, I want the power to go off so that I can say, good, let's get out of here. I need TV. You don't get it. I have to watch TV at night, and with no power, there's no chance of that. So I go, I know the power is going to go off, but I wish it went off so I could then justify leaving and driving an hour and a half in a windstorm back to Glendale. So it's dark now, and I'm going to load up the car with all the bags we packed, and I turn on the porch light, the stair lights, and the out front of the garage lights, and I take one step down the staircase, and everything goes black. And I pause, and I think, well, I wish the lights were on so I could load up this car and see what I was doing, but I'm happy. I'm happy because now there's no power. No power means no TV. No TV means I need to flee. So I go, good, we have no power. Good, let's leave. I turn around, I walk back up the stairs, I get in the living room, the power comes on. I go, now the power's on? Why'd the power go off? Last time this happened, the power was off for a day. This time it was off for 2.5 minutes. So I go, okay, I'm going to sit down and watch a little TV just to get a little fix, a little hit, a little freeze. And I sit down, but the Wi-Fi's out, and I don't have any TV to watch. And I go, all right, fuck it, no TV, good. Pack it all up, and head to Glendale, where the studio is. Now, along the way, wind like I've never seen before. I've been in this place for near 60 years, and I've never seen wind like this. And the wind is going hard. I mean, it's really crazy. Sodom and Gomorrah out there. It's insane out there. And pull into the shop and start noticing telephone pole wires everywhere. And I'm going to put up a picture. Joe's going to put it up. A picture I took About 5 hours after I went on a mega rant about telephone poles and wires and why the fuck can't we bury these things in the ground and why are we spending $200 billion on a high-speed rail that no one gives a fuck about and we don't have wires in the ground in 2025? No. This pole, you got to see this picture, Dawson. This is right across the street. Yep, the pole's knocked over. There's power. There's power wires in the street. Now I'm driving around going, oh, I just went on an epic rant. The winds are 80 miles an hour at this point. I'm like, I just went on an epic rant about power lines, and now I'm going to be killed when one of these things falls over and smashes my car while I'm sitting here because it's just power lines all the way up and down. And then I get to the shop, and the power's out at the shop. That's karma because I was hoping the power was out in Pasadena so I could justify, I'll get to Pasadena and Drew in a second, but in Malibu so I could justify leaving Malibu, but the power stayed on, but it then went out in Glendale. So now I realize there's no stand with no power in Glendale, and all these power poles are knocked over, and there's hot wires everywhere. And also, when you hear the news, they're like, well, the firemen are trying to fight the fire, but these are hot wires and power poles have fallen over and they're in the streets and they're creating a hazard and they can't go in there. And they don't know if the wires are hot or not. It's like, yes, everything I said, everything I've just been talking about, everything they could have fixed. It's very knowable. It's very doable. The reason we have fires is because it's super windy. And when it gets super windy, old shit that's tall and thin falls over. That's how it works. So the oldest and the thinnest are the power poles. So they're going to fall over and they're going to cause a fire, or they're just going to be in the street and the firemen are going to have to deal with it. And by the way, the firemen are spraying water on everything. So now it's hot wires and water. Very knowable, very doable, everybody. But all right, we've chosen not to do it. So I then check into a hotel in Burbank, California, and then, of course, turn on the news and watch the chaos. Now, the way the fires work in Malibu is they stay up in the hills. It's sort of like we used to have looting during riots. Like when Rodney King was beaten in L.A., rioted, they riot in these neighborhoods. They stay in their neighborhoods until the Koreans get on the roof and shoot at them. They stay in their neighborhood and riot and burn down their own neighborhood. Recently, they're like, why are we burning down our own neighborhood? We can go to Beverly Hills or Santa Monica and get their shit. They've got much better stuff over there than we got, and they figured it out. Well, the fire's sort of the same thing. The fires in Malibu used to stay up in the hills. They're brush fires. So there wasn't any fuel for them down by the ocean. Obviously, the ocean is not fuel. The sand is not fuel. And then there's homes that run along the sand in the ocean. But then there's a pretty wide strip of highway, PCH, in between. And the fire would come down the hill and stop. Well, now it has jumped. And once it jumps, then all bets are off because anything can burn in Malibu once it jumps. And the houses, somebody sent me a video. We'll post it. The video starts off basically in front of my condo, but down the hill from my condo. And then proceeds to go down PCH toward Pepperdine, toward Santa Barbara, north. And every single structure is burnt on the water side of PCH, which is nuts. And average price for those homes is $14 million. And every single one of them is gone, all the way down. Except for wildly the beach club I belong to, which is nothing but 4x6 lattice work on top, totally pristine, untouched. And then it goes past the beach place and goes right back to burnt dwellings. I have no idea how this beach club, which is 100 feet of like 4x8 lattice work up top, completely untouched, just open wood. That's all really it is, with one big long sort of lattice piece of work, couple little dwellings, bathroom. Completely unmolested, completely untouched. The fire goes right up to it. It burns every single dwelling up to it, then goes up past it and begins burning everything on the other side of it. It's uncanny, Dawson. You got to see this. Joe, it's uncanny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird because it's all just made out of wood.
And if it's lattice, though, is that maybe not giving a space for an ember to catch?
I mean, it's hard for an ember to land on like a 4x8 and start a fire. It does need kindling, so to speak. So some insulation or some thinner material. Yes, you're right. It's incongruous that this big this big structure made out of wood did not catch on fire. But anyway, it just keeps going. And it's a guy just driving down PCH in his truck, and he's sort of narrating. Somebody sent it to me. Those are my neighbors. When I look out the window of my living room, I see, or used to see, all those houses, and they are multi-million dollar dwellings just right on down the run. Now, so that's where the fire is. Now, as far as did my dwelling catch on fire? Well, you would assume that if the fire was up on the hill and the houses down on the beach caught on fire directly in front of my house, then I would be in between those two, and I would most certainly be burnt down. And so my girlfriend woke me up this morning basically sobbing and saying that our house was gone. The condo was gone. And then I said, how do you know the condo's gone? And then she said, somebody in the neighborhood a woman texted her, and she got confirmation, and it was gone. So I was like, wow, I was pretty bummed out. And then started thinking about my 1/5 scale model of my Hawaiian Tropic 935. Beautiful model that was sitting in my closet. Started thinking about that being gone. And then about a half hour later, the same person texted back and said, maybe it's not gone. Which I don't appreciate that part of life. I just don't. But I was still relieved to hear maybe it's not gone after literally being woken up to it's gone. So now in the interim, some good stuff. Jimmy reached out, asked me if I want to stay with him, and so on and so forth. So, but if this place is gone, I really don't know what I would do. But I will go on a little mini rant here for a second, which is these people of the Palisades, of Malibu, of parts of Santa Monica, these people are all homeless. They're officially homeless. They fit the definition of homeless because they are unhoused. And I know you guys don't like to say junkies or mental nut jobs. You like to say homeless or the unhoused community, our unhoused community. Okay, everyone in Malibu's unhoused now, and everyone in the Palisades is unhoused. The great Steve Gutenberg, who we'll be hearing from later, is unhoused. I am unhoused. And all Jay-Z and Beyonce may be unhoused, along with Bill Simmons and everyone else in the Palisades and Santa Monica. We're all unhoused. Anyone sleeping on the sidewalk tonight? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody's sleeping outdoors tonight? But why? We're unhoused. We're unhoused. So, of course, we should be sleeping in a refrigerator box underneath the fucking overpass, but we're not. Why not? Because it's not about the house, you fucking retards. I have a network. They don't have a network because they're junkies and they burnt every bridge in their life. That's why. Not because of the house. I can go to Dr. Drew's house and crash at his house, and or I can go to Jimmy's house and crash at his house, and or I can afford to check into a hotel room. I am unhoused, but I have a network, and I'm not mentally insane, and I'm not a drug addict. Thus, none of the people who just got dehoused are going to be unhoused. They're all sleeping in a bed tonight. It's not their bed. Could be a hotel, could be a friend, could be a family member, but they are going to sleep indoors tonight. Every single one of them. Every one of them. So you want to talk about unhoused, housed, housing problem? We got a problem with the shortage of housing. No, we don't. These are drug addicts who can't hold down a job and function in society. So there you go. It's not about the house. We're all dehoused. Everyone in Malibu has no house. Okay. So, sidebar. Tell me what you guys think of this. I just looked down. I was making all kinds of random notes. I'm sitting in here. I'm sitting in my hotel room this morning. Thank God I took my very plush bathrobe and my cozy-ass slippers, high boy slippers that come up way past the ankle, fleece-lined, beautiful, and this big, cushy, plush thing. I'm like a warlock with like a wizard with this thing. Like the thing hangs down longer than my arms. It almost drags on the ground. Okay. In a world, and so I say to my girlfriend, where's the cafe? I got to get some coffee. And she goes, oh, the cafe's in the lobby. And I go, oh, man, do I got to put on sweatpants and flip-flops? But here's my question. Honestly, in 2025, I go to LAX. I see women walking around in goddamn pajamas. They're wearing pajama bottoms, a sports bra, and slippers. And I see women, I go to the gym. Everyone's wearing yoga pants and a sports bra. I can see every pube bump, every contour, every ingrown hair on an ass cheek. It's all there. Why is it unacceptable for me to walk out in a bathrobe and slippers? Now, it is, but why? I am showing less flesh than anybody in this entire hotel when I put the bathrobe on. I mean, I know I look like an insane mob boss or something, but it should be acceptable. If women are just going out in the yoga pants and the cycling shorts, and literally at LAX, I see women wearing pajama bottoms and fuzzy slippers. You want to know utopia this world would be if I could just head out my robe? And by the way, I'm in a robe, you know what I mean? Like that Muhammad Ali wore robe to go to the ring. You know what I mean? Like I just put trunks on underneath, put the robe on, and why can't I go into this lobby with my robe and my slippers and get a coffee without scornful looks? That's all I'm saying.
Because you're showing leg.
I'm not showing.
How long is the robe?
Dawson, I could put on trunks and walk out. Right. So this is your theory?
Well,
no, you don't have a theory, Dawson. Your theory is my knees are showing. First off, I told you it was the longest, plushest robe ever. I'm not showing anything. The robe's 8 foot long. It's in the next room. No, what do you think? I'm wearing a robe like I work at a rub and tug or something?
Well, I thought if you're wearing boxers and a robe that goes just to your knees, I think that's inappropriate. If it goes to the floor and covers your legs, or you're wearing sweatpants.
All right, Dawson.
Then I don't think you'll
This is why you don't get a microphone. When you wear basketball trunks that go to your knees, I mean, shorts. You could go out in shorts, right?
All right. Bathrobe is different, I think, and that's why you're getting the dirty looks.
No. I'm not saying it is different. I'm saying it shouldn't be different. I am covered. Well, I'm much more covered up than you would be wearing a T-shirt and swim trunks and walking out there.
Okay,
much
that was
more.
Unclear. To me.
Well, remember the robe hung down past my hands
That
and
part I got.
the biggest, plushest. Okay. All right. Anyway,
Byron will be in a robe
got
at work by the end of the
yes, he's already wearing his gliders or sliders. Are those slides or glides? I can't figure it out. Anyway, that conflict. Anyway, all right. So, on a happy note, I guess all the Winnebagos that were parked up and down PCH where they're cooking meth out of, those things surely are gone because those would have burnt up in the fire. They'll be the first ones back, by the way. Like here, you want to know the comedy? The comedy is the guys who lost their $20 million homes on the ocean side of PCH will be knee-deep in the permit process. They will be trying to pull permits when the guys in the Winnebagos will have been back for months before those guys ever get a permit. As a matter of fact, good fucking luck. Because here's the deal. Alan Hamill and Suzanne Summers moved because they could not get a permit to rebuild their home of 40 years on the ocean on PCH, right? So here's what's going to happen. Let me just give you guys a little primer of what's going to happen. You know how Bill Maher seems real conservative now when he's like arguing with Jane Fonda about regulations, too many regulations, like strangling everything? Because remember, when Bill Maher tried to put solar in his house in Beverly Hills, that's when he turned against the government because he saw what the government and the overreach of government and overregulation does. He got strangled. It took him 3 years to build a solar shack. He had a whole countdown on his show, day 1,000 since I've got my permit for my solar. He turned. Okay. The people who live in Malibu, who live in Santa Monica, who live in the Palisades, those are some of the most progressive blue voters in the world or in the United States. They are a bastion of blue. So what those guys did is all the people in the Palisades, I checked it out. It's about 80% blue, 80% progressive, 80% Democrat. Now, these pussies are all sitting around crying about Karen Bass, water pressure, how come the forest wasn't cleared of all the brush, what's happening with the infrastructure. You guys all voted for Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. You all voted for Gavin Newsom. And now you fucking get what you get. Oh, now that your house is on fire, well, now you're thinking about something else. Now you want to know what's going on. What's going on around here? You didn't give a shit about what was going on when other people's houses were on fire, but now you care. So here's what's going to happen. All these people who were deep blue Democrats are now going to have to pull a permit to rebuild. And they're going to get the 28-year-old bitch from the Coastal Commission telling them to go fuck off. And then they're going to vote for Trump or whoever's Trumpian next. You see, they're going to get turned. They're going to get turned hard because, as I've always said, live in the rent control apartment in Santa Monica, fine, good. We know how you vote. Go deal with the city. Try to pull a permit. These are going to be thousands of homes, super wealthy people, and these people don't want to live in Van Nuys. They like it where they are. They love Malibu. They love the Palisades. They love Santa Monica. There's going to be a whole bunch of rich people, and they're going to go, I'm rebuilding, and I want to rebuild as fast as I can. And between the part where they go in to the planning commission and plan check and initially and try to pull a permit to the time the first load of lumber, the first load of 2x4s is dropped off on their lot where their house formerly stood, it's going to be 3 years. And 1,000 permits and 1,000 arguments and 1,000 discussions with the Coastal Commission, not to mention little tidbits that they didn't think about, like Carson Daly. You want a swimming pool? Yep. Got to be double hulled. Really? Yeah. Well, why? Well, what if water leaches out and gets into the groundwater table? Carson Daly had to build a swimming pool like a modern day oil tanker. Had to put like a double hulled. That's all right. It'll just cost $500,000 for a swimming pool. Like that, they're going to be when they start getting the regulation, they're going to go nuts. And when they start running into the bureaucracy and the red tape, they're going to start going nuts, and they're going to vote for Rick Caruso next time because they want to get. That's all Trump says is we're going to pull back the regulations. We're going to free people up. They're going to find out. They're going to get bit by their own snake. They're going to convert. I am telling you, these are the bluest people on the planet, and they're going to be fucking ripshit pissed when the city and the Coastal Commission tell them to fuck off. And by the way, I don't think the Coastal Commission is going to okay anyone rebuilding any of their houses on the coast because they say they're in the business of protecting the coast. They're in the business of getting you to leave. They will get their wish, which is no buildings. And they're going to make it hard for everyone. And then we're going to have to restructure the whole thing because we can't have 9 angry lesbians controlling everything that goes on in Malibu, the Palisades, and Santa Monica. Okay. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Be right back after this. Well, you want to start a business, your own business, a small business, and grow it this year. Let's do this. And now's the best time to start. Shopify is going to help you. I started a business, and I use Shopify, and I'm glad I did. Shopify makes it simple to create your brand, open for business, and get your first sale. Get your store up and running. It's easy, and they've got thousands of customizable templates that can help you with all the details like shipping, taxes, payments, from one single dashboard, allowing you to focus on the important stuff like growing your business because you want to be freed up to grow your business, not burdened with the nickel and dime stuff. Let Shopify help you with that. With Shopify, your first sale is closer than you think. It's Shopify, right, Dawson?
Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Carolla, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Carolla to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/Carolla.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Well, listen, people. It's a new year, and you made a lot of promises. Let's keep a few of them. Let's keep the promise of getting your head straight so you can then take care of everything else. Resolutions fade away, but therapy, it's kind of a way of life, and I'm a big fan of it. Dr. Drew's a big fan. And I always said, once you get your head right, the rest will follow. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, convenient, and it's flexible as well. You just fill out a brief questionnaire, and you get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. So this year, make a commitment to you. You've made the commitment to eat right. You made the commitment to work out. Now let's work on the old bean with BetterHelp.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, convenient, and flexible. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. In the spirit of Murrow, Jennings, Cronkite, here's another great moment in local news.
Here on Palisades Drive, if anybody has a car and they leave the keys in the car so that we can move your car so that these fire trucks can get up Palisades Drive.
Yeah.
What's happening is people take their keys with them as if they're in a parking lot. This is not a parking lot.
Yeah.
We really need people to move their cars. So if you leave your car in Palisades Drive, leave the key in there so a guy like me can move your cars and get them up there so that these fire trucks can get up there. It's really, really important.
Thank you for talking to us live, sir. What's your name?
My name is Steve Gutenberg.
That's a great moment in local news. Now, back to the Adam Carolla Show.
All right. So again, if you're just joining us, although I don't know how you just join a podcast. I think you're pretty much in or out. But if you're just joining us, I'm in a hotel room in Burbank. My home in And Malibu is either there or it's not there. And the reason I will say that is so far I've seen film of PCH underneath my home, which is completely devastated. So that doesn't give me a lot of hope. Then I saw film of the other side of my street, which seemed to be somewhat intact with a few burned places. And then I saw a picture of a store that's down toward the bottom of my hill, which seems to be intact. So I don't know is the answer as I speak to you from my hotel room in Burbank. Other thoughts. Now, keep in mind, where are these fires coming from? I've spoken to the firemen who are on PCH and a lot of firemen who work in LA County, and it's all homeless. It's guys that are high, camping in the hills, passed out on drugs, smoking a cigarette, whatever. I mean, there's two ways these fires start. It's homeless people, homeless, remember, and it's power lines that fall over in windstorms because the infrastructure is decrepit. That's both on the city and that's both on the state. You have a homeless problem, you have a power infrastructure problem. You have both problems and they both land in your lap because this is super fixable. The homeless is fixable, the power grid is fixable, and you've chosen to focus on the LGBT community and the bullet train to nowhere in Merced. So that's on you. Also, a vid that was making the rounds and maybe going viral even is me in front of Congress, I think, from a few years back, telling the story of when I attempted to sign up to be a fireman in LA County and was rejected because of the color of my skin, even though I was poor and destitute, and played football and had a strong back. Like I was ready to carry someone out of a fire. Then they started doing the rounds of the LA police chief, who's a lady, and it's a first. She's a member of the LGBT plus community, and she needs to be celebrated. Okay, I've been saying it. You can't run things this way. You can give people jobs based on their sexual proclivities and their skin color and their ethnicity as long as the jobs aren't important. They can drive the shuttle at the airport. They can work at the Cinnabon at the airport. They can even do security. They can do almost anything at an airport. But as soon as you get out of the airport and you need real competence, like the lady who is the head of the police, whatever, New Orleans, looks like a white crazy Aunt Esther from Sanford & Son. Like that woman doesn't look competent at anything. And if you notice that the more and more disasters we have and who's leading the press conference, it's a postmenopausal chick who is LGBT friendly or whatever. And you're like, is this just a coincidence or do we keep putting these people in this position? And what do you expect? What are we looking for? You people are all sitting around, all you dickheads who live in the Palisades, who voted for Karen Bass and never stop patting yourself on the back because we have the first African-American female right. She's in Africa collecting beads and your fucking house is burning down and you want to know what's going on. You don't know what's going on? You elect incompetent people, you pat yourself in the back, you look at his progress, and then we get fucked. So, again, it could be a vice president. It could be the mayor of Los Angeles. It could be the deputy police inspector of New Orleans. It could be the fire chief of Los Angeles. These are pretty important jobs, pretty highfalutin jobs. And I would not care if every single one of them was manned by a black lesbian. I would not have any problem with that whatsoever, just as long as none of that factored in to them getting the job. But if they got pushed up ahead of other people because of that, and that seems to be what's happening because you guys never stop celebrating that, then no, I do not want that. And I know you're doing it because you celebrate it. You always go, oh, she's the first. What's that have to do with fire safety? What the fuck does being a lesbian have to do with fire safety? I would argue they know less about fire safety because their hair is so short. The heterosexual women who have real long hair, they got to blow out candles, they got to light candles, they got to kindle. They have to light the sterno can when they're having the party, and they got the chafing dish outside. Long hair bitches, they know fire safety. All right. Anyway, so I will continue on. I'm just looking down on some notes. I talked to Dr. Drew. Half this fire was in Pasadena and Altadena. Altadena is like a slightly poorer version of Pasadena. It's a little more sort of just real working class kind of, working class where the houses are $1.4 million a piece, but working class. So my dad lived in Altadena and recently just sold his house. So I don't even, and he was like in the foothills. So I honestly don't know if his house or his ex-house is still there. As a matter of fact, I think that it was closing today. So I don't know if it's closing and on fire at the same time. I don't know, but it sounds pretty poetic to me. Drew is in Pasadena, but he's in a nicer, plusher part of Pasadena. I talked to him. His house is safe, says there's a lot of smoke, streets blocked off, lots of trees down as well. So it is, I literally just been a shitstorm here. The fire in the Palisades seems to be 0% contained as I speak to you, and the wind is such that it just runs amok and it goes in every direction, and they can't contain it at all. But as we're talking about in yesterday's show, it's 2025. There shouldn't be a fire every time it gets windy. There was a fire, and we were evacuated 3.5 weeks ago. It was not a month. It was another fire because it got windy. I feel like in a place where you pay the most taxes anywhere, you shouldn't think, well, the wind's gusty, and now we're all going to burn. We're living in modern times. So now the problem with all this stuff is it's sort of part and parcel of the sanctuary city. Like, okay, this is who we say we are. No. It's time for the adults to get back in charge. And I hope these people of Malibu, Palisades, Santa Monica are going to understand that it's great. All the platitudes are great. We got the first this and the first that and representation and all that. It's all great. It's all great until the fucking fire starts. Until the guy gets in the pickup truck and tries to drive it through Bourbon Street, until people start running amok on the subway and lighting people on fire and pushing them on the track. It's all great during good times, but we don't have fire chiefs for good times. We have fire chiefs for fires, and that's when we need them to spring into action. All right, let's see. I wrote down, thank God we got, I turned on the TV, I saw Gavin Newsom and Biden have come together. So we're good now. We're out of the woods. I don't even know if Biden knows where he is. I think he thinks he's in New Orleans talking to victims. I am out. I'm going to go to Vegas from here and do some shows over at Kimmel's place. I do also want to say another thing. Now, so what's going to happen is now all the politicians like Gavin Newsom are going to start in on the climate change and the global warming and all the other shit. Now, it would have been nice if the seas had risen enough to put out all the fucking fires of all the houses, because you wouldn't maintain and manage the brush in the forest or the water pressure or anything else. But that would have been great. That didn't happen. He's going to start in on climate change. Okay, here's what I have to say about it, and I'm going to try to be philosophical about it. I will grant you this, Gavin Newsom. Let's just go hypothetically. 100% of these fires are caused by climate change. 100%. That's the whole reason why we're dealing with this. 100%. Okay. What are we going to do about it? Okay, that's the problem. But now what's the plan? You want to get the guy in Santa Monica to drive a Nissan Leaf instead of a Ford Explorer. That's fine, but China's building another coal-powered plant. They just finished one today, and they're starting one tomorrow, and we can't get the rest of the world, China and India, the places with the biggest populace, they're not going along with this. You got the guy in Santa Monica's attention, but he doesn't control global warming. He can't really control the sea. So you want to switch over to electric leaf blowers. But I don't think that's going to be an immediate fix for a fire every 20 minutes. I say with the electric leaf blower, even if you included lawnmowers and edgers, it would still take several years before this problem was fixed. So now, again, it's all caused by global warming. Fine, have it your way. Many experts would disagree, but fine, we'll have it your way. What the fuck are we going to do? Because there's been 2 fires in 3 weeks. What shall we look forward to? Just fires in perpetuity? Well, the answer is us and technology. New Orleans was devastated by Katrina because they're below sea level, but they have sea walls. But the sea walls fell into disrepair and didn't work, and they were overtaken. So then the Army Corps of Engineers came in and built sea walls, and now New Orleans, who's below sea level, does not have another Katrina-like situation. So now, that's your job. That's what you do. You go, well, we have a global warming. Yeah. So then thin the brush, thin the forest, get the water pressure up, start working on ways to combat it, which is basically the same as building a seawall. Like, okay, the oceans have risen, and now the people of New Orleans, yeah, build a wall. People live in Arizona now. People live in Phoenix in the month of July because someone invented air conditioning, and now we're comfortable. You can do things. We can fix these things. Or you can keep blaming global warming or climate change deniers and then institute more completely meaningless legislation about electric cars, electric leaf blowers, or not, having water heaters, or having cows, getting cows to stop farting, or whatever the fuck you're talking about that does. You've been talking about it for 20 years. It's done nothing. So now it's time for some boots on the ground shit, some shit that works. Figure it out, because that's the only way this is going to work. All right, let's see. What else do I have to complain about? I think that's about it. I'll send you guys a tweet or two. We'll put some of these vids up and some of these pictures up. I'll keep you guys up to date on what's going on, because it's still, at this point, it's probably a coin toss as to whether my condo is there or not. I would probably take that coin toss. I would do it now if you said you want to do it. It's probably 50-50, but I would toss that coin. But so I don't exactly know. And it is weird, but the information comes out in dribs and drabs, but it doesn't. Yes, Sammy Scott, Our Things, available for streaming on Crime and Conspiracy Network. And the website, SammyTheBull.com. Sammy, former Gambino crime family, underboss, has all the stories, knows where all the bodies are buried. And I like his politics, so good to see you again, Sammy.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. A while ago, and we had a great interview years ago, and I'm sure we're going to have one now.
I feel it. We are. So let's see where we start with you. Let's just sort of do a quick review so everyone knows where you come from and the backstory and everything, and then we'll kind of get on to it. And then also, is there anything as the Italian mob in the United States anymore? Is it all just fentanyl and Mexican and, Trey Aragua and all whatever Is it all just sort of Central American and Mexican and drugs? Is there any more Italian mob at all?
It still exists, but it's more like a men's club now. The violence, they dropped the violence. They don't kill anymore. I don't know if they're doing drugs or not, but I quit the mafia quite a while ago. But they're not the same anymore. I do know a lot of mafiosos are still friends of mine, and I have a lot of family back in New York. So in New York, part of it, I think the mafia is just about gone.
Yeah, and it's been replaced, or it's just gone and there's nothing there?
I think it's just gone and nothing is there. It's not replaced. These cartels and drug rings and gangs, they have a totally different mentality than we had. We did different kinds of crimes, construction, unions, stuff like that. We made money and we were involved in violence, of course, but not like this. And, you know, we had a lot of rules with Castellano and them when they said no drugs. You deal drugs, you die.
Right.
So they didn't want drugs around. Of course, some guys, there was so much money involved in it, you know, participated in it, got caught, got busted. That's like with John Gotti and Angelo Ruggiero and his crew. The tapes became infamous today that they were sneaking and doing drugs and
Selling drugs.
Selling drugs. Yeah, none of them, I don't think, took it. Some people maybe, but most people didn't take it. They just sold it. It was a money thing for greed and power. And I think that's why the bosses didn't want it around anymore. They didn't want that kind of reputation. The cartels in them, that's their whole source of money, is violence and ridiculous type of violence. They didn't care about legitimate people and stuff like that.
Well, so there was a code back when you were in the mob, and the code covered drugs, covered family, I suppose. Would it cover human trafficking?
Oh, without a doubt. I never knew of anybody that was involved in human trafficking. If you had a reputation of doing that in the mob, you would get killed.
Yeah.
So I don't know of anybody who did that. That was definitely against anything like that. Even like Roy DeMeo was killed, he became a serial killer. And serial killer, rapist, child molesters, human trafficking, you would get killed for that. Once you developed a reputation for that, the bosses would have you killed.
This story you were telling me about Roy, I think last time you were here, where he became a serial killer.
He did. He killed so many people, and he just got to enjoy it and stuff like that.
Who was he working for? Gambino?
He was a made guy in the Gambino family.
So he was made.
He was made.
And he would do mafia hits at the beginning.
Yes, that's how it started. And his whole crew, I mean, he trained them in a different way, and they all became serial killers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just killed people. He had a guy who was a bartender. On the corner was a bar. Right around the corner was his club. The bartender was his uncle. They called him Dracula. And he would call up Roy. Somebody had there 4:30 in the morning, drunk. Mm-hmm. And he would say, I got another one. Mm-hmm. He'd make the guy stop playing cards, go get him, bring him in, shoot him in the head, cut him from his balls to his neck, turn him upside down, hang him in a bathroom in the shower so he can bleed out. So it was easy when they sawed him into pieces. There was no blood splashing around, stuff like that. I mean, that's sick stuff.
And that was just for sport?
I don't know what it was. It's the only thing I can explain
nobody called a hit out on that guy.
Well, Paul eventually had him killed.
No, but what I'm saying is the guy that got gutted and bled out, that guy wasn't in the mafia?
No, they didn't have a clue. He could have been black, he could have been white, he could have been Hispanic. Just a drunk who was in the bar. Mm-hmm. And he was using them to show them the practice and to get their act together. And they all became serial killers. I'll give you one story, one example. They had Roy DeMeo wanted to get this young guy. And one day he pulled up to the club with a girl, an 18-year-old girl, young girl, his girlfriend. And he was talking to the twins, Joey Tester and the other one. They call them the twins. They went in, they said, Roy, he's outside. He said, bring him in. He said, well, he's got his girlfriend. bring him in. They brought him in. They killed him. He sent the twins out. You talk to her from one end of the car, where the steering wheel is. The other guy talks the other way. As soon as she turns her head to answer somebody, the other guy shoots her.
So he just killed her for no reason.
For no reason, just because she was there. Now, in a normal mob, something like that happened, you would back off. Leave it alone. We'll get him another time. We're not going to kill this young girl who has nothing. There's no reason for it.
Right. So this guy turns into a serial killer after essentially like getting a taste for blood, doing mafia work, right? Killing.
Yes.
And then he just kind of can't stop. And now he's just killing random people.
Yes.
And eventually they figure it out and he has to be killed.
Yes. It's just like when you asked about a drug dealer or a child molester or people smuggling young kids into the country. Once they find out you're doing that, they'll kill you.
But does he need to be killed for moral reasons or practical reasons? Such as if you're smuggling kids into the country, there's a moral part. You go, hey, that's wrong. That's someone's kid. But there's a practical part, too, which is, hey, if you get caught as a serial killer, you're going to bring a lot of attention to us.
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, all mafia guys, most of them were married and had kids. I had a daughter, granddaughters, and people. I mean, for me, it's moral. How could you do that? How could somebody do that? Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not into that stuff. But how they turn to become that, I have no idea. But they get used to it. They get like you said, bloodthirsty, and they just keep going and going and going.
Well, speaking of that, I was driving in today, and I was thinking about this story. I said, I remember seeing a story on a guy named Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy was a mob murderer, and he says he killed 200 people, over 100 people. They don't really know, but he just killed everyone in every which way you could possibly kill. And then I thought, I think he's a kind of contemporary of yours. I think he was around when you were around. I don't know if you knew him. I looked it up a little. There seemed to be a story at some point between the two of you, but I thought, well, that'd be a good question to ask Sammy.
Yeah. First of all, he's a liar. He never killed 200 people. And he really, I don't believe he did any murders for the mafia. It was put together. He became a witness against me. He told the government that he had killed a cop 21 years prior to meeting me, and we did this together. When they came to me, I got indicted on that case, on his testimony.
What year is this?
Oh, this is way back. I don't remember the exact year, but it's way back. And I didn't have a clue who he was. I found out later on that there's a guy named Bobby Kaburk.
1980. The officer was killed, I guess.
Yeah, so it was 21 years prior to that.
Right.
That I was arrested. So 1980, 2001, 2001, I probably got indicted on that murder. And he made this story up. Now, through the entire investigation, and people like Jerry Capisi, who was a writer, they found out what the situation was. He was doing time with a guy named Bobby Kaburk, who was a maid guy in our family. When I cooperated, I testified against him, and he went to prison.
Bobby
Kaburk, yeah. When he went to prison with him, the Iceman.
Mm-hmm.
And he fed him the whole story about the cop. And he wanted him to repeat that he did it with me so that I would be indicted on the case. 1, 2, Bobby Kaburk, could get retried. In other words, that I was lying in his case and I never admitted to the murder and so on and so forth.
Ah, I see.
So they picked that up. They knew what happened, where it came from. Bobby Kaburk was so stupid, he filed for an appeal before the indictment even came out. So how would that happen?
Mm-hmm.
And it was obvious that he set the whole thing up in play. He knew about the murder, obviously, Bobby Kaburk, and he told the Iceman what to say, what to do. He did it. And that's how we get indicted. Lawyers and prosecutors reached out to my lawyers and said, we know Sammy didn't do this. We know the story. We know what happened. And it's a long story, but they joined my team, actually, the government, knowing that this whole thing was a lie. One of the things he admitted to when he made a deal, the Iceman, is that he killed Roy DeMeo and put him in the trunk of a car. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody knew he was found in the trunk of a car.
Roy DeMeo. Who is Roy DeMeo?
He was a made guy in the Gambino family. So...
Oh, wait, he was the serial killer.
He was a serial killer.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So the government came down and talked to him, and then they said, what did you put him in the trunk of a car? And he said, yes. And they said, well, he was found in the trunk of a car. Everybody knows that. There was something on top of Roy DeMeo's body. And they said, why did you put that on his body? They didn't tell him what it was. He couldn't answer the question. Mm-hmm. He had no idea what was on his body. Now, I'll tell you what was on his body was a chandelier.
Chandelier?
Yeah. Now, when the guys who killed Roy DeMeo put a car, stolen car, they opened the trunk. There was a chandelier. They took it out. They killed Roy DeMeo, stuck him in the trunk, and threw the chandelier in there. It was no message. Everybody was saying it's a message, it's this, it's that. They just put it back in the car.
Right.
And it wound up on top of his body. That was never out to the press. Mm-hmm. So nobody knew about that but the people who did it and the government. Mm-hmm. So he couldn't answer that question.
Right.
And he never killed Roy DeMeo.
Right.
We eventually found out the government did, and we knew who killed Roy DeMeo. It wasn't him.
Who did kill him?
The Roy DeMeo's two top guys, the twins, they called them. John Gotti originally got the contract to kill Roy DeMeo from Paul Castellano.
And it was just because of a serial killing?
Yeah, whatever the reason was, Paul told him, John Gotti. He was very flustered about it. This whole crew was dangerous, and he saw that John got real nervous about having the contract, and he took him off it. He said, forget about it. And he gave the contract to Frankie DeChico, who was a captain in the family, real tough guy, and a good friend of mine. Frankie called me up and said, Sammy, I got Roy DeMeo's ticket. I knew exactly what that meant. Mm-hmm. So I said, if you're on Beth Avenue, I'm going to take a ride down. I want to talk to you. And I did. I went down and I said, Frankie, the whole fucking crew is crazy, bro. They're all fucking serial killers.
How many people in the crew?
10. Mm-hmm. I says, you need my help? And he says, no, I got this. And I said, Frankie, they're dangerous. What do you mean you got it? He says, I went to the two top guys, the twins, they called them, and I told them, all of you are going to get killed. There's a contract on all of you. If you kill Roy DeMeo, we'll take the contract off of you two guys, and we'll give you to another family, and you'll live. Those are the guys who killed him and put him in the trunk. Mm-hmm. We eventually took the contract off of them, and we gave them to the Lucchese family, Gaspipe, who was the underboss of the Lucchese family, and he took them. So we knew the whole thing.
Right.
Who did what and stuff like that. And now your audience knows.
So the Iceman, this was a lot of legend stuff that he cooked up about being this mafioso serial killer, or not serial killer, but 200 bodies and all that. That was just him. Is he in jail still?
I think he died.
And was he with a crime family, or was he just sort of a contractor, gun for hire, or is this all just sort of made up and he was a serial killer, or just sort of ingratiated himself?
I think, yes, it was all made up, even the serial killer part. Here's what he did. He was a scummy guy. He would borrow $1,500 off his friend. And not to pay him back, when the guy came in and started arguing with him, he killed him. Mm-hmm. He didn't even know how to get rid of a body. Mm-hmm. He put him in a cooler in his place, and he froze to see how he's going to get rid of the body. Mm-hmm. Finally, he gets rid of the body, and when the police find him, the guy is frozen. So the cops and the FBI, they look into it. This guy's been dead a while and frozen. That's where they called him the Iceman.
Ah.
So he's done a few of those murders. And one time, now I couldn't say yes or no that he went by Roy DeMeo's club. I don't know why he was there. But supposedly I came in, I said hello to Roy. Roy had about 10, 15, 20 people there. I said hello to a bunch of people. I was introduced to him. They said, I shook his hand. How you doing? That's all I ever knew of him. And first of all, I couldn't tell the government. I said, I don't know if I shook his hand. I met him. I don't remember him at all. I never saw him. So I said I could have. There's 15. Looks like I just came in your office and I shook hands with all kinds of guys. I don't know who they are.
Right.
Now, if one of them is a serial killer and you want to talk to me 10, 15 years from now, I won't know who you're talking about.
Right.
You follow? And that's what it was with him. And then when I spoke with the FBI and I was arrested and they were working on the case with me, with my lawyers, actually, not with me, but with my lawyers, they told me, Sam, the guys lied about everything. My lawyers were preparing my case. They had a big chart, just white papers. Now, the guy he killed and put him in the freezer, it was going to be on there, Joe Blow. You killed Joe Blow, you put him in the freezer. That's how you got that name and reputation. Okay, you did that. Pick up, second page, whoever, if there was a person. Third page, it's empty.
So he didn't kill all those people.
No.
What is the best way to dispose of a body?
Well, I've heard of go out on a boat,
Right.
put them in a drum with some weights, throw the drum over the side, it
Right.
goes to the bottom, it sinks to the bottom, the water's deep. You're never going to find them, even if somebody hits them with a fishing line.
Right.
You're not going to pull this thing up.
Right.
It weighs 400 or 500 pounds. You never pull it up.
Right.
People have buried guys. People have did acid things in a drum, I've heard. I've never participated in stuff like that. Chopping them up like Roy DeMeo did.
Well,
Everybody he killed, they chopped them up.
say chopped up. How much do you got to chop somebody up?
Well, here's what they did, what he had told me. Because I asked that question when he was talking to me about it. He says, I chopped them up in pieces. The leg, maybe 3, 4 pieces. The head, from the neck, hand, arm, this, that.
Yeah.
I break all the teeth out. And all these things, he, chops them up in fine pieces. And then throws it in dumpsters where he knows when they're picking it up. And they bring it to the dumps. And when they put it in the dumps, there's hundreds of garbage trucks picking up stuff and throwing it in there. There's bulldozers and tractors going over, and everything is smashed. There's millions of rats. So that eats anything and everything. And after a while, if that never, nobody ever saw it, in a day, they might put a foot of dirt and concrete and garbage. After a couple of weeks, that thing could be 6, 8 feet under. Yeah, it's gone.
He'd time it for the pickups of the dumpster.
He knew the pickups. He knew everything.
This Kuklinski claims to be involved with Jimmy Hoffa's disappearance, but that's probably more bullshit, right?
Yeah, of course. Yes, absolutely.
So he was a serial liar, not a serial killer.
Well, I think he's more. Yes, I would agree with that. But he's a serial everything. You could call him a serial liar, a serial killer, serial everything. But the serial stuff really did not work out. He couldn't. His son got arrested, and he had called the government. He wanted to tell a story of who's who and what's what. The government came down. His son was pinched on some bullshit drug charges. Now, if he knew stuff, real stuff,
the son,
he could have got, the father.
The father.
He would have got the kid out in 2 minutes.
If he had real information.
If he had real information. So when the FBI came down, the information he said that he killed Jimmy Hoffa, they knew that was total bullshit. He said, a few people that he said he killed. The cop, they knew that was total bullshit. They couldn't even answer that there was a chandelier on the bottom.
Right.
So they walked away. They didn't get the kid out. He couldn't even make a deal. So if he had anything legit, the agents said. So said to me, listen, if he had anything.
And now they're trying to hang that on him. He's doing drugs, having sex parties, hiring prostitutes. But does it make sense that they're trying to get him for, RICO stuff?
No. RICO has no. It's made for a huge group like the mafia. It's an organization. It's a syndicate. And there's a boss, an underboss, the conseiller, captains, maid guys, and they're doing all kinds of things, unions, drugs, 100 different crimes, and that's the syndicate. They go after it, and it goes, up the ladder to who has involved in it, who's running it. What he did has nothing to do with the RICO. I don't know why the government used the RICO Act. It's complicated. Most people don't even understand it. And they confused everybody. What he did, if they would have left the RICO part out, some of the things he's done is disgusting. The drugs, the beating up the girls and prostitution, all this bullshit would have all stuck. And I don't know, he would have done maybe not life, but he would have done a good 25, 30 years. But the RICO law screwed up the whole thing. Nobody in the jury completely understood it. It doesn't have that crime pattern. He was a freak.
Yeah.
And he did weird shit. And what made it even more in his favor, like that girl, Cassie, he beat her up. There's a video of it, no question about it, ugly. But 2 days later, she's calling him up and wants to do another freak out.
Right.
So how is she a victim?
Yeah.
Most of these men or women went in voluntarily to take drugs, to party, to freak out. It has nothing to do with, like, the RICO statute. It really doesn't.
So they got over their skis. They got overzealous. They tried to charge them with stuff that wasn't applicable, and then lost the whole thing by confusing everybody when they could have just focused on some of the crime. And the guy's, 55 years old. He'd be in jail till he was 75 or 80 if they got those ones to stick.
Here's what I think they got greedy.
Yes.
The RICO law, if you get convicted of that, they take everything. All your money, houses, cars, you name it, they take it. I think they were looking at that.
Oh, they were looking at
more than the crime.
Piggy bank.
Yeah, they were looking at the money end of it and got a little greedy. And, they have a 95 to 98% conviction rate with the RICO. They felt real secure with that. But they're going against mobs and mobsters. I don't remember being in jail. Black guys and Mexican guys would come over. They got indicted on the RICO law. It started against Italians and the mafia. And then it spread to everybody. Even Donald Trump got pitched on a RICO charge. They went crazy with this RICO thing because they felt we can't lose.
What was, when you were involved back in the day, what year did you kind of get started with the mob?
Oh, I got out of the Army in 1966. 1968, maybe, I became an associate with the Colombo family.
What was, and how did it change the main sources of revenue? Like, we talk about the cartels, the drug cartels, they sell a lot of pot, and then we decriminalize pot, and then they don't sell as much pot. They move on to fentanyl or human trafficking, or they just keep sort of evolving into whatever's next. And so you hear, they go, well, these guys, they were in there with the construction companies, and they're in there with the disposal companies, and they ran numbers, and I don't know, prostitution. But how did it play out? Like, where was the, it's like me. How do I get paid? Well, I get paid to do a podcast. But I make some money doing live shows. All right, but I sell a couple of books. But I don't make as much selling the books as I do with the, there's a pyramid of it. How did it work out? Yeah, I make less off of T-shirts and more off of doing stand-up and then more off of podcasting. But how did it kind of work out with the mob when you were there at the beginning and then versus 25 years later?
Yeah, well, when I went in, as an associate, I wasn't that smart. The whole making of what went on. But through time, I completely understood it. And you're right. Everything elevates that. You know, years and years ago when they was prohibition, it's before my time, but Al Capone was thrown out of New York. He went to Chicago, and he was in wars, and he was a tough bastard. He was doing crazy shit. But one thing he did, though, is he got unions, put them together, made them stronger, and was using unions against contractors and people like that, making a ton of money. Mm-hmm. And I was told in New York, they said, what is he doing? How is he doing that? And then everybody started understanding how to use the unions, control them, and make a ton of money. And it was a gold mine. There's a lot of things that he actually showed. He was doing things, prohibition, it was making booze and selling it. The government put a prohibition on it. You couldn't drink. And we understood, when I say it's not really me, but the mob itself understood people's desires to do something. They wanted to drink. They wanted to relax. They wanted to party. Mm-hmm. So when the government stopped it, it was an easy thing to do. How do we get booze? We can make it. And we could sell it underground. And it opened up underground clubs and parties, and it was selling like it was better than drugs, better than anything. I mean, and people enjoyed it, and they weren't against it. So I think that's what happened with the mafia. The same thing when you go to Vegas. I forgot exactly who it was, went to Vegas, and he was on the lam. And while he was on the lam, he went to a small town in Vegas. And when he went in, he was gassing
talking
up.
about Bugsy Siegel?
Well, not him, but in that era, in that time. And he went in, he got gas and was fixing his car, and he sees them all playing cards. Mm-hmm. And he sees a police car. Mm-hmm. So he tells them, he says, listen, guys, I don't really care what you're doing, but you're playing cards, you got money on the table, you're gambling. There's a police car coming. Mm-hmm. And they said, listen, over here, it's not against the law to gamble. And he was the first guy who made a call. Bugsy Siegel, everybody started, what? Yeah, and they put things together to build hotels, and they gave them everything. You know, again, they understand what people want. When you went to their casinos, they were comping you with everything. The rooms, broads, drinking, eating, no matter what you wanted. They treated you like a king. People loved that.
Right.
And those casinos were getting off like crazy. And where did they make the money? They didn't care about the food or the booze or the broads. They under gambling. Mm-hmm. And that became a gold mine. And then every family turned around and was looking at it. What? What are they doing? How are they doing it? It's legal there. So if you had gambling in New York or Chicago or wherever it was, you would get arrested for that.
Right.
And here, it was legit.
Right.
Same thing when they went to, that's Bugsy Siegel, and then went to Cuba. Same thing. It was legal.
Yeah.
Cuba was paradise for people. They went, rich people, they went there. It was all the same thing, gambling, broads, everything you could do, and it was legal.
Right.
Until Castro came in and stopped all of that stuff. And he actually screwed his own people because the country became nothing. I mean, it went broke.
I know. And now maybe New York will go broke.
Yeah, exactly.
They always do a thing where they're like, we're not going to do exactly what Castro did or exactly what Hugo Chavez did to ruin their country, but we're going to do a kind of version of it that's going to be better.
Right.
And it's like, why don't you do no version of it? Because it seems to ruin places.
Right.
And they always have this weird thing where it's like, no, I have a new way of doing this thing that never works. And they all had a new way of doing the thing that never worked either, and it never worked because there's a fundamental flaw to it. And I don't get, I'm always vexed. Do they hate this country, or do they really think whatever this is going to work this time?
I think some of them hate the country, to be honest with you, because it's so ridiculous. But the liberal elites up on top, they want to keep everybody down. They're interested in money and power, period. Everybody else, and it's not a race thing, black, white, Spanish, Jewish, Irish, German. I don't care who you are. They want to break you. They want you to depend on them, their corporations, the government, and they want it to be broke. They want to break it and build it how they want it.
Yeah. I see. What I don't get when I talk to people about it is, have you been to the DMV lately? Have you seen what the government does? I'm in Malibu. There's no permits issued. It's been 6 months. Nobody's rebuilding anything. The government, all they do is fuck things up. Why would you want to rely on the government for anything? And I've always just said, I think people think I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. I said, what if we just put the government in charge of tacos? No more privateer tacos. No more independent. No more Chipotle. No more taco stands. No more Del Taco. Nothing. The government is now in charge of tacos. Could you imagine how bad that taco would be and how expensive it would be? And everyone goes, yes, that would be a shit taco and it would be way too expensive. And I go, exactly. Okay, now just do my taco math and spread it out to everything. Because once they have a monopoly on it, that's it. And they somehow think it's a weird relationship. Because my mom was one of these people, and they simultaneously rely on the government, welfare, food stamps, handouts, Section 8 housing, everything. They rely on the government, and they detest the government at the same time. They hate the government, and they rely on the government. It's like some shitty teenage girl who hates her stepdad, but he's leasing her a BMW, but she still hates the guy, but she wants the BMW, you know. And it's a horrible cycle. And my thing is, just get off the government, get away from them. They're going to fuck it up. Do not rely on them to help you, house you, feed your kids. If they do feed your kids, they're going to feed your kids slop. Don't do it.
Right. You know, I could give a quick example. I'm not going to use the guy's name, but a very wealthy guy, a friend of mine. And one day I got into a conversation. I was complaining about the gas. One time in Arizona, I was paying, I think, $1.90 or whatever the hell it was. And then it went to $5, $6. And I come back and forth to California, numbers through the roof. And I was in this kind of conversation and with him. And he says, Sam, it's not a bad thing. I says, how could it not be a bad thing? You were paying $2 or $3, now you're paying $7, $8, $9. How could that not be a bad thing? Maybe, you know, not for you, but for a lot of people. But he said, you're right. You know how long it took me to get to work in California? Now there's a hell of a lot less cars. I hope they charge $15 a gallon.
Right.
Because he could, instead of being on the highway for 2 hours, he could be on the highway for 25 minutes.
Right.
And it's the $15 means nothing to him from 9 to 15 because he's very wealthy.
Right.
So that's how people look at it.
Yes.
And I told my friend, I said, that's crazy, but what about everybody else? What about your kids? Want to go get a car and they want to drive it? I mean, look at the money. It's crazy.
Look, it impacts poor people. I've said it a few times, which is all Gavin Newsom claims to care about in California is the poor brown people. It's all he cares about, right? He's going to go fight ICE. They're going to fight ICE. They're going to fight for the poor brown people. What do these people do? They do the jobs Americans won't do. They pick your fruit. They clean your toilets. It's super condescending shit. Who's going to clean my toilet? I don't know. Let's get a brown person to clean the toilet. He's already brown. That'll work out. It's insane. But when you have gas at $8 a gallon, guess who it affects the most? The brown guy.
Right.
Because the brown guy is driving a full-size pickup truck. He's got gardening equipment in the back.
Right.
The thing gets 9 miles to the gallon. He can't afford an electric car. He can't work from home on his laptop like you can. And the brown guy's got to drive across town. He can't live in town because it's too expensive, because real estate's too expensive, because it's overregulated and it's too much red tape and you've stifled buildings. So that fat guy has to live out of town and then take his gas-guzzling truck filled with the equipment in it. He needs to do yard work and drive it into town, and that $9 a gallon gas impacts the shit out of him.
Right.
Versus it's a rounding error for your buddy. Versus a lot of people just work at home now. They have an electric car, it's plugged in. They don't even leave.
Right. But let me give you the answer to that. I'll give you a quick answer to that. They don't care about brown people.
I know.
It's just a bullshit excuse not to do what they don't want to do and to do the other thing, like Newsom. I have a lot of friends now. I've been coming back and forth to California, and became a born-again Christian out here in the Ocean Church. I go to church with them. I go all over. And I ask them the same question every time I come here. Why do you keep putting this guy in as your governor? Why?
His nice hair. His hair's nice.
Yeah, well, every time I come, he's complaining about everything. The roads, everything. I mean, why do you keep voting him in?
Yeah, well, okay. First off, we are idiots. And we are very aesthetically oriented in California. You know, J.D. Pritzker couldn't get voted in as governor here. He's too fat. We are aesthetic. It's like California. We're in the film industry. We think George Clooney's a genius because he looks good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're very aesthetic here. It's all about how you look in a bathing suit at the beach and stuff. So we are, like, when people talk about California, they go, it's beautiful, though. It's beautiful. We got the ocean. You see the Malibu. It's beautiful over here. And then you go to the mountains. It's beautiful. And then they go, Hollywood, the beautiful people. That's where the beautiful people are. We're like a 9-year-old. And when a 9-year-old sees George Clooney in a pilot's outfit or a fat guy with a double chin in a pilot's outfit, you say to the 9-year-old, who's better at flying airplanes? They point at Clooney. That guy.
Of course.
That guy. And you go, how do you know? They go, that guy. And it turns out the other guy could be a veteran and a certified pilot, and they'd still go, I'll take that guy.
Right.
We're a little bit too aesthetic here. It's the movies, it's the glitz, it's Hollywood, it's premieres, it's the red carpet, it's Malibu, it's all the look. You know, when they show Hollywood, you know, when they do come to California, first shot, good-looking guy on a surfboard with a shirt off, not a fat guy drinking in a basement in Wisconsin.
Or a woman walking on the beach in a bikini.
Right. So when Gavin Newsom shows up, we go, look at that guy. I bet he could fly an airplane. And we're all like dumb 9-year-olds. And we go, look at him. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
And that's how we do it here.
Right.
And we're dumb. And also, the Democrats aren't in the business of admitting they're wrong. You know, they just don't go, look, I fucking made a mistake. I voted for the guy because I was a Democrat. He fucked the state up. I shouldn't have done it. They never walk it back. They never do a mea culpa. They just go, I'm not going to look in the rearview mirror. It doesn't matter. I came up with something pertaining to your rich friend in traffic and, $10 gallon gas. Years ago, I'm curious what you think of this. And I would abide by this, but I bet our government would fuck it up. But I used to say on Loveline, the radio show I used to do with Dr. Drew, and people can find tapes of it from like this probably said it in 1996, 1997. Gas was, $1.75 a gallon, $1.35 a gallon out here. I used to say all the time, I make good money on the radio. I was doing a syndicated radio show. I was starting to do some TV shows, stuff like that. The traffic sucked. And it doesn't matter how rich you are. You're sitting in traffic.
Without a doubt.
You be in a Lamborghini Murcielago going 4 miles an hour on the 405.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I said, look, if somebody said, we're going to raise the price from back then, $1.65 a gallon. I said, raise it to $10 a gallon. I'll pay. Anyone who wants to get to LAX in 25 minutes will pay, not to sit in traffic. But I need the extra $8.50 a gallon to go to buy vans. And I want van pools, and I want free van rides from the people that couldn't afford to live out here, and they live in Simi Valley. There'll be van service, picking them up, taking them to their job, dropping them off at work, picking them up, taking them home. And the LA freeways will be nothing but vans and Lamborghinis at this point. I'll be in a Lamborghini. And by the way, if you're poor, you get a free ride. It ain't even $1.65 for you. You don't have to pay car insurance. Nothing. You don't have to upkeep, maintenance. We'll have so much revenue from the extra $8 a gallon worth of gas. They'll go right into this. We'll just have a fleet of vans. They'll have territories. They'll pick up the thing. They'll get on a schedule. They'll take them in. I would do that.
Great idea, and it's a great thinking. And because you're a good man, you're thinking about them and you're thinking about solving the problem, but they don't want to solve the problem. That is the problem. They don't want to solve it. They don't want to listen to common sense. And I think once you say, I'm a Democrat, no matter what the people do, you accept it.
Yes.
And it's like you're handcuffed to talk back or to do anything. You know, yes. I give an example one time. A guy gave me a haircut. It was an Italian guy. I was in a barber shop, and he cut my hair. My hair was long back in those days. He cut it and made a mess of it. So I said, bro, look at what you just did. He said, bro, we're both Italian. Because we're Italian. What the fuck does that got to do with it? I said, my hair's a mess. I don't care if you're Italian, black, white, Spanish. I don't care what you are. You screwed up my hair. I would say that in a minute. Why won't we say that to the government? Why won't we say that if we were a Democrat? If I was a Democrat, if it was... I mean, I was a Democrat growing up because they were the easiest people to bribe. We loved them.
Oh, really?
Oh, without a doubt. You couldn't bribe the Republicans or, conservative people.
Oh, that's interesting. Because of religion?
No, not religion. The Democrats were easy to bribe.
No, I'm saying...
So you wanted them in office.
No, what I'm saying is oftentimes religious people, that becomes a barrier for whatever you're asking them to do that's immoral. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would say that Republicans would tend to be religious more than Democrats.
Oh, without a doubt.
And it is interesting. It's something I think about all the time. It's very telling. Very telling. I had the guy who runs that organization tunnel the towers. And they do all the spots, and they raise all the money for the disabled veterans and build them homes and stuff like that. And by the way, I told that guy, we'll find his name. I can't think of his name, but he came in here. I said, Jesus Christ, I would put you in charge of the homeless in Los Angeles because this guy gets shit done.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's a good man.
And for every dollar that comes in, 96 cents gets spent on new construction, not wasted with some non-government organization or whatever the fuck. We spend $24 billion on homeless. There's nothing. We get nothing comes out the other end. But Frank Siller, he came in here, and he's a respectful guy, and he's bipartisan. He'll take anyone's money, and he's trying to build these homes for veterans. But when you watch the commercials, it's always like Mark Wahlberg and guys like that showing up. It's never all these lefty lunatics that show up, Hollywood types. It's always sort of the conservative religious guys who show up. And I said to him, just mouth of babes kind of thing. I said, I watch Fox, I watch CNN, I see every spot on Fox. I see you have spots on Fox. You turn on Fox any random time of the day, you're going to see him and Mark Wahlberg raising money for veterans. I said, I watched CNN for 2 hours in an airport the other day. I didn't see one spot.
No.
0 spots. And he said, he was trying to be respectful. He said, we tried CNN. I said, well, I don't get it. What happened? He said, this didn't work out. I said, what do you mean didn't work out? It's just we didn't get a response. I said, oh, you do it on Fox. You're talking about veterans, showing the flag, the country, being patriotic, and the money comes. The donations pour in. You do it on CNN, you get nothing. I said, that's telling. That's telling to me in terms of how they feel about this country.
Yeah, right. It is. It's. I can't understand it myself. I think I understand a lot of things, especially all my years in the mob, and I cannot understand how people just don't understand this basic. You don't have to be smart. Basic principles and what's done to you. And when people are lying to your face,
Yes.
I mean, I feel like going. I mean, I think California is gorgeous. I love the state, the weather, the whole thing. I got friends here. They even told me, Sammy, move here. I said, you couldn't pay me to move here. Why? Man, I went for fucking breakfast, and it cost me $60 for breakfast. I had 2 eggs.
Yeah.
I mean, number one. Number two, the taxes are through the roof.
Yeah.
Number four, every time I get on the highway, I'm cursing at everybody. I can't move. I'm stuck in traffic all the time. We went to a cigar bar one
Well,
night.
wait a minute. Find Gavin Newsom explaining traffic, because you're going to love this, Sammy. Because he was on this show, and I was complaining to him about traffic. This was about 12 years ago.
Right.
I just said, what's going on with the traffic? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Let's fix this. Let's work on it. Say something. Do something, you know? And he had the most Gavin Newsom answer you've ever heard in your life. But it was a perfect, we'll find it when a perfect Gavin Newsom answer. I'll cue you when we got it. All right. Now, continuing when we got it, I'll tell you about traffic.
All right, good. Yeah, but, you know, so it's so obvious to everybody, and I don't see why they don't want to change it. I just don't understand it.
All right, I'll play this clip now,
Yeah.
which I think you'll enjoy. This is Gavin Newsom on the subject of traffic, and this is his solution for traffic.
All right. All the other states do it. L.A. and California, with some of the worst traffic in the world, doesn't have a policy that Idaho thought of.
Is that right?
This can't be the first time you've heard this.
Well, not specifically this. I saw a billboard out on the 405 says you're not stuck in traffic. And you're thinking, how the hell, what does that mean? It says you are traffic, which I kind of like, which sort of made the point.
Wow.
All right. He liked it. I guess he likes traffic. According to him, I mean, let's just say it wasn't traffic. Let's just say we're saying, forget about traffic. Let's just say human trafficking. If he said, I was sitting on the 405 and saw a billboard that said, you're not in human trafficking, you are human trafficking. And I went, yeah, I kind of like that. Then I guess that means I'd be for human trafficking,
Right.
I guess.
Right.
Well, certainly not trying to solve the problem. So he just admitted he's not into solving the problem.
No, I mean...
He's an idiot.
I mean, when they had the fires here, I mean, I called a lot of people, all my friends, Nick Pileggi, everybody. I called them up on the phone.
Oh, Nick Pileggi's been on this show.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's a good friend of mine, and I'm working with him today still.
Are you writing?
No, I'm not writing. He's writing.
Well, yeah, he's the writer, but I just mean...
yes, absolutely. I'm sold my show to FX and Disney, and...
Nick wrote Goodfellas, or what I write?
Goodfellas.
Yeah.
He wrote all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he's been in here.
Yeah. He's
Casino.
Casino. He's a great guy.
Are you working with him on a
Very
TV show?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, a scripted show.
Oh.
It's almost like The Sopranos, but it's the story of my life. There's a lot more truth in it than The Sopranos. Sopranos was based on a true story. I know the family that they were talking about. Most of it was Hollywood. I mean, you're not going to stop Hollywood from being even a true story. I mean, they're creative minds, and I tell the truth, they do the movie.
Right.
They have the brains to do it, the creativity to do it, the imagination to do it. So nothing's 100% true or false. Sometimes you get a documentary, you could do that, but not a movie. You want to capture the audience. You want to give them pleasure of watching it. But, yeah, I don't know where I was going there.
Well, you were working with Nick Pileggi, which is kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, and Terry Winter.
Terry Winter, where do I know that name from?
He wrote this. He took The Sopranos from season 2 all the way through to the end. He's a great writer.
So you have the Casino, Goodfellas, and Sopranos guys working on your project.
Yes.
That's a good crew.
I put together a pretty good crew. When I say pretty good, I think it's one of the best crews that's ever been put together.
Boardwalk Empire.
Yep, Boardwalk Empire. You name it, they've done it.
Yeah.
One or the other, or the combination of them. And who was it? Aaron Kaplan.
Wow.
Is in with me.
So when is this going to come about?
Well, we're already talking, writing, doing things, and I would imagine that when we talk about the stage where we're starting to hire actors and actresses and stuff like that, it was already put out publicly, so I'm not...
What's the process like when you go to Nick Pileggi's house? Sit down, start talking, stories, memories?
Yeah. When I went to his house, I was talking, and he was showing me everything, the backyard. And he lives all the way up on top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. And he was showing me the pool. He was talking about his wife who passed away a long time ago, and this picture and that plaque and this. He adored his wife who passed away. Mm-hmm. I saw that clear. Mm-hmm. And after a while talking about it, I tried to change the subject because I almost saw tears in his eyes. He misses her so much. He's 92 years old.
He's 92.
When they had the fires here, I had called him up. I says, get out. I got some people and friends could pick you up and get out of there.
He's in the Hollywood Hills?
Yeah. Uh-huh. And he said, no, I'm going to stay here. So I said, why would you want to stay there? I mean, the house might go on fire. How are you going to get out? You're on top of the mountain. It's going up. Mm-hmm. You can't get rescued. You can't get nothing. You're finished. He said, I'm not leaving my wife.
Wow.
If I die in this house, I die with her.
Wow.
I was blown away. So I called J.J. Sachs, his very close friend. They work together. And I said, J.J., tell him to get out. I got a couple of friends of mine in California. Tell him not to be scared because I'm going to send them up to his house. And I'll drag him out. He's got to get out of there. Mm-hmm. He said he won't go, Sammy.
Wow.
So tell him I'm going to drag him out. I'm serious. Don't call the cops. Even if he calls the cops, cops can't get up there anyway. So I don't care what he does, but I'm going to get him out of there. I'm not going to watch him die in this fire. When I have a shot to get him out. So he made some calls that he got some of the, the ex-wife, wife who passed away at Sons or somebody went up there and convinced him, come to our house, get out of this house for now. And he called me back, JJ, and said, we got him out, Sammy. Don't send nobody there. I got this done. So, he's such a great guy. And that's how when I went to his house, and like I said, he's 92, one of my employees, and he says he had a typewriter there. Mm-hmm. And I said, you still use a typewriter? He says, yes, on occasion. I got the fancy shit, too. Mm-hmm. And he had a script in there that he was writing. 92 years old, still writing it. He said, you can read it if you want. He's such a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when he told me that about his wife and how he felt, I did a little piece of art, a picture of him and his wife who had passed away, an old picture. And I had it done. I fixed it up, edited it, the whole thing, cleaned it up, put a frame on it, and sent it to him. And JJ said, Sammy, but he cried getting this picture of himself and his wife.
So for you, as I hear this story, it sounds like, and it sort of was a mob code thing. It's like a character thing. Like when you hear about somebody feels this way, acts this way, you go, okay, I know that guy's good. I don't need to know other things about him. I just know who that person is based on this, Right. And if you're doing other things like being a serial killer, you kind of know who that guy is too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And there seemed to be a code that doesn't really exist anymore. It's just sort of every man for themselves, or make the most money you can, or whatever it is. But
it is.
But there was a code, and guys like you respond to the code when you sort of see it. Like you go, that's a stand-up guy. It's a good guy. See the way he treats his kids,
right.
That kind of thing.
I love that. Now, the guy could be a tough guy, could be a killer, and I could sit with him and relate to him and talk with him and understand him, what life he was in. Now, let's say you were a killer and you're not a mafia guy. You were in the service and you killed people. Now, you're not really a killer. You're killing for the country, for what they're telling you to do.
Yeah, it's your job.
And you come back. It's your job. I killed for the mafia. I never woke up in the morning wanting to kill anybody or do anything. Most of these hits, I didn't do them. I structured them. I was part of them. So legally, I got the label of 19 murders. But I didn't kill 19 people. I was involved.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't think...
And that's that RICO law again.
I don't think people, including myself, have a fundamental moral issue with killing people that need to be killed. I think our problem is killing the 18-year-old girlfriend outside of the club.
But that's disgusting to me and everybody else.
Right. So I guess what I'm saying is if somebody's a serial killer or somebody is whatever that person is, I don't really, when I hear about a gangbanger getting shot, I don't weep openly for the gangbanger. It's more like the innocent kid who gets shot,
Of course.
Is there anybody that you killed, were a part in the planning of killing, that turned out not to be a bad person or need to be killed?
Oh, sure. There was, a few things. There was a young kid who was killed once, and the contract wasn't on him. It's a long story, and I think I'm being sued for it, but I don't even want to get into it. But there was no contract on him. There was no need to kill him. He tried to, Louis Melito was a shooter. He was shooting at somebody. He ran at Louis Melito. Louis Melito turned around and killed him. I'm sorry that happened, and Louis Melito was sorry. We were all sorry that happened. But it's rare. Mm-hmm. We always try, like in the mob, I know when I got made, there's a rule against bombs. No bombs.
No bombs, because collateral damage.
Collateral damage, and it's going to hurt our reputation. Well, they do that in Italy. Who gives a fuck what they do in Italy? This ain't Italy. This is the United States. We don't do it. Occasionally it happened. My best friend, one of my best friends, Frankie the Chico, was killed by a car bomb. So sometimes it happens, but it's not something that we want to happen. We all have children and grandchildren and stuff like that. So when we deteriorate a neighborhood with drugs, our kids are in those neighborhoods.
Right.
So we're doing it to our own kids.
Right.
Now, if we don't want to do it to our own kids, why do we want to do it to our neighbors' kids or anybody else's kids?
Yeah, well,
so
code.
There has to be some sort of a code. And that's the thing about killing in the mafia. We have a code. You break that code, you're going to die. Now, if you don't have that code, most guys in the mafia could kill. Most. Mm-hmm. Probably a high percentage, 90-something%. Mm-hmm. So if there's not a code where you pay with your life, how do you control that 90% or 90-something% who are killers? How do you stop them?
Right.
If you say I'm a killer, and I am, I was. How do you stop me if there's no, I come in here, I don't like your answer, I don't like your question, I shoot you. In other words, there's no responsibility. I don't get in trouble for it. Nobody cares about it.
Right.
Why wouldn't I shoot you if I didn't like you or I don't like the way you're questioning me or whatever? So there has to be a code no matter where it is, whether it's the mob, cops, FBI, other countries. There's got to be a code. We just bombed Iran to stop them from having nukes.
Right.
They're screaming, let's kill Jews, let's kill Israel, let's kill the United States. You can't give them a fucking nuke.
I know.
So you got to stop it. So bombing it, I think...
I know. People are like, how come they don't get a nuke and we get a nuke and Japan gets a nuke? I know, because we're not homicidal maniacs who want to kill Jews. That's why we get a nuke.
And we're not screaming, let's go kill Arabs or let's go kill Muslims. We don't do that.
Right.
They're all over the place. I have Muslims working for me.
Yeah, I know. That's why they don't get... it's an easy answer.
Yeah, but people don't understand those answers.
I guess they don't. All right, Sammy, let me give you a plug because, man, you blink your eyes and an hour goes by with Sammy. Our Thing is the name of the podcast. Once you come in here again, when you and Nick Pileggi, get a little further down the road on this project.
Without a doubt. When we get a little down on it, here's what I do. I live in Arizona, and I travel here to California, and I talk with them, meet with some of them, or go to dinner, and then I meet with people who I like and do an interview. I did a few interviews, and now I'm doing an interview with you. I've done an interview with you a while ago, and I think the world of you. I have a ton of respect for you and your team, and they're great, the whole bunch of you guys. So that's what I do. I come down, I see whoever I can see, friends and stuff like that. When I was building my studio, your guys, your tech guys, your people in the back, the girl who set this all up with my girl, I had asked them the last time some questions on how to set up, what's the better microphones, this, that, and the other thing. This team was great. They didn't even hesitate on a call to help.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, your girl, we were coming in a little late. We had traffic. My girl's on the phone with your girl. She was so polite. So, that's what I do when I come here. If I get to the point where we're going to do some stuff, and I would tell Nick he's here, if he wants to, we can come together and do an interview together. It would be my pleasure, and I'm sure Nick thinks the world of you too. So.
Yeah, he's been in here, and I think I'm trying to think how long. It's been a minute, but yeah, Nick Pileggi would be good, and it'd be awesome to see you two together. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We got Vinny Tortorich. What's Paisan?
Here's a memorable moment from the Adam Carolla Show's Ace Awards archives.
I don't know if they did it on purpose or inadvertently, but I think you'll hear some smoke on the water coming out of these ladies.
100%
yes.
Smoke on the water.
I haven't
but
seen
did
that
they
clip
know
yet.
it?
Yes, I'll tell you why. Because that was as people were clapping at the end of the Kate McKinnon sketch, that's what she was doing.
Oh, she did smoke on the water?
Sing it! And that's what
she did.
That
gay,
was
gay,
as people
gay,
were applauding her
gay,
off.
Gay,
yeah.
gay, gay.
Yeah.
Gay, 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 gay.
Sucking cock in a mobile.
The 2025 Ace Awards, coming this December. Now back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Vinny Tortorich in studio. That was him chiming in at the end of the gay anthem.
I completely forgotten about that.
I forgot about. That's the beauty of this. It's all.
It's like where are they going with this?
I didn't know where we're going either. Yeah. Fitness Confidential is the name of the podcast. Website purevitaminclub.com is where you can go. Real good docs. Fat, a documentary, and part 2. Fat out there, Beyond Impossibles out there. Very good, informative docs. I mean, it's got to be nice to have RFK Jr. in every one of these. Every second article I read saying, carnivore diet, steak, you got to have red meat, people were healed on this, and they all their many medical issues cured when we put them on this. And after, I don't know, 20 years of being called a heretic, I guess, for you?
Even more. And, think about it. The first time I walked in here in 2015, Dr. Drew told me that you guys got hate mail and people concerned because I told people to eat bacon and eggs. Mm-hmm. They was like, man, you're going to get sued. Drew, you're going to get sued.
Right.
And when you think about that, just the craziness around all of it. And, I was at a rally. I was at some event. I was speaking up in D.C. Right before the election. Mm-hmm. And then after the event, we all went and sat at some dinner, and they were looking at me going, where do you think this is headed? Mm-hmm. And I said, listen, there was a woman at the table and her wife. I said, I know you're not going to like this. I know you're not going to like this. I said, I don't do politics, but you better hope that somehow RFK ends up somewhere near the White House because it's the only chance we have. And I'm not a big fan. And I even have a daughter that goes, RFK, you know what he wants to do? He wants to do A, B, C, and D. It's like, I don't care. He wants to do something.
Something. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, first things first. I've been at his parties. I did his events. I did his comedy events. He's been in here. He's a serious, substantial guy. Yeah. I mean, you cannot. There's a lot of people, and it sort of saddens me that people don't really know who people are, and it happens a lot. Like you go, they go, they have some, district selectman bitch in San Diego are like, Elon Musk, get out of here, Dumbo. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. And what have you done? Nothing. That's what you've done. Nothing. It's like, okay, bitch. It's just shut up. You're dumb. You're dumb. There's like Karen Bass is dumb. Now you can go, well, I disagree with her politics. Okay, but she's also dumb.
Right.
Where RFK you can disagree with, but he's not dumb. He's going to read you chapter and verse of cases that go back 30 years that he's committed to memory. And he's done a lot. He's a substantial person. And there's a lot of people, and I think it's just part of the politics we're in. Like, Mark Garagos is a friend. People disagree with a lot of the cases he does, and his daughter just got done with P. Diddy's case and something. You can go, I don't agree with defending Michael Jackson. Okay, say whatever you want. He's not dumb. You can't go, the guy's dumb, or his ideas are bad, or he doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
I can say that Karen Bass is dumb and doesn't know what she's doing. So let's not lump Elon Musk and RFK Jr. in with Karen Bass or Gavin Newsom. Those guys are fucking dumb. Or Maxine Waters or whoever the dingbat du jour is that you guys are voting for. You're voting for dumb people. I would rather vote for smart people that were off on a couple of subjects than dumb people who are wrong about everything.
Well, the fact of the matter is, no one is going to agree with everything all the time.
Well, also with RFK Jr., it's a lot of bad publicity. Most people would agree on about 90% of what it is he said.
Right, but they do the identity game, and once you get into the identity game, everything else is just off.
Right, but he wants to do something, as you said, and I was like, and this is interesting. I'd be interested in getting your take on this one, Vinny. Because we never really got into this, but I'm like a truffle pig, I just go sniffing around. And then stuff starts coming to me like a soothsayer.
Right.
I just go quiet, and stuff starts to flow in.
The divining rods.
Yes. Dr. Drew said to me the other day, I didn't even think about it. He goes, 10 years ago, I said, where is this country going? Where's it going? Because Drew, who sat next to me for 30 years, he goes, you always know where we're going. And he just said to me, where are we going 10 years ago? I said, safe spaces and octagons. Safe spaces and octagons. You want to live in California, you want to live in LA, you want to live in a safe space, crawling, you live in a sanctuary city, step over human feces on homeless people everywhere and fucking illegals everywhere selling hot dogs on the street, or you can move to Florida and go to an octagon. Drive a pickup truck, be fucking left alone, not have to pay a shitload of taxes. Want to put a deck on, that's your business, you don't have to pull a permit. So I said, safe spaces and octagons. And every 2 years, he'd go to me, where are we going? I go, safe spaces and octagons. And then he said to me, like 2 days ago, he goes, they're putting an octagon on the lawn of the White House.
For real?
Yeah, they're having a UFC fight.
Are you fighting?
The White House.
You know what? I'd like to be confirmed on that card, yes.
And he said, my God, when you said safe spaces and octagons, Trump, who's the octagon guy, is literally, I didn't think it'd be on the lawn of the White House. I was metaphorically talking about moving to Nashville or Tennessee or Arizona. I wasn't talking about actually physically having, but he said, my God, you were dead nuts on. And I was like, yeah, that's right. It's safe spaces and octagons. He's an
octagon president.
Where this thing's going. And I realize what's going on is there is a group of people that are the process people. They just want to talk about everything.
Right.
It's like, okay, you have the border, right? So Trump is not a process person. He's a commercial builder.
Yeah.
Rick Caruso is not a process person. He's a commercial builder. Like, what's going on?
Get it done.
Where's the fucking concrete guys? Where are the sheet knockers and the who's hanging the drywall? What's going on? Like, where's the schedule? Now, Karen Bass and Kamala Harris and Newsom, they're all process people. So when they talk about a seat at the table and treating the homeless with dignity. Nothing ever happens. You go, okay, just look at the border. Okay, Kamala Harris, you're the border.
We're going to have a meeting about a committee.
I'm going to the Triangle countries, and I'm going to talk to the First Lady of El Salvador, and we're going to talk about the root causes.
Right.
Okay, 2 years later, borders right fucking open. Trump gets in office 3 days later, borders shut.
Right.
Not a process person that go fucking do it person. Right? L.A. is all process. California is all process. And I realize we just want to talk and talk and talk. It's a chick thing, also weak dude thing, but we just process. We just talk. And FDA, whoever was doing whatever RFK's job was, just would sit and talk, and nothing ever happened.
And those people were actually morbidly obese. You look at RFK, the guy could do pull-ups and push-ups and everything else.
Right.
The people before, it's funny. I just had whiplash because I spent the last 10 days out in Lone Pine, California. There's nothing in Lone Pine other than the tallest mountain in the contiguous United States, Mount Whitney. Mm-hmm. And every year, if I don't have anything else to do, I go there because it keeps me personally honest. I got to be in enough shape to make it to 14,500 feet. So that's what I did.
So you do that one day?
Yeah, you pop up and pop. A lot of people do 2 days. They sleep halfway up and then go. Mm-hmm. But I always do what we call the flash. I pop it up, pop it down. It takes it's 22 miles round trip. It takes anywhere from 14 to 16 hours, depending on the weather. Mm-hmm. At any rate, the reason I go when I go is because there's also the best athletes in the world out there at that time, the Badwater 135. Are you familiar with that race?
Yeah, the ultra endurance race.
Goggins did it.
Yeah, Goggins did it. The reason Goggins became a big thing was it was basically the first time a black guy was found in that desert, and one photo of him muscled up.
Yeah.
And everyone went, wait a minute, it's not like skinny white chicks anymore. It's this guy. At any rate, that race. And my buddy is the guy who presents the race. He puts it on every year. Mm-hmm. I sponsored it for years with my vitamin company and the whole deal. But I go out there because these are the best athletes in the world. Mm-hmm. And they all hang out in Lone Pine before they go down to the Badwater Basin to start the race at 120 degrees Fahrenheit.
I was going to say, Badwater Basin is the hottest place on the planet.
On the planet. The hottest recorded record.
Yeah, I've been
Badwater Basin. And it's the lowest point in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
And they go halfway up Mount Whitney at the end.
It's Death Valley. I mean, it's Badwater Basin's near Death Valley.
It's in Death Valley.
It's in Death Valley.
Death Valley is a bowl. It's in the bottom of the bowl.
Yeah. If you go there, there'll be a mark up on the mountain like 180 feet, and it'll say sea level.
Something like 380 feet. And it says this is where you're looking up to see where sea level is.
What is that, impact crater? I don't remember. It's some type of...
It's just, who knows what it is.
How low below sea level is Badwater Basin into the...
I read it. He extolled in his book about how tough that race is and how badass it is to get up out of there.
It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So at any rate, I'm there with all the runners. Mm-hmm. A lot of them know me because I sponsored the race. I gave them free product for 6 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're there with these people. You don't see a cell phone. You don't see a tablet. You don't see people. You don't see anything. You see people running and training. You see their crew running and training, doing everything. Logistics. Pulling it together. Just to get this one person to run 135 miles from the hottest place on the planet up to 8,000 feet above sea level. It's a ridiculous endeavor.
That's a feat of courage,
This is what I've been with. And at the same time, I'm sleeping in my car at 10,000 feet so I can quickly acclimate to go do the mountain. This is what everyone's doing.
282 is...
and how long are you staying up there to get acclimated?
You need at least 3 days. I'm well acclimated, so 3 days above 10,000 feet, especially if you sleep at that, you could get enough red blood cells to where you don't throw up.
It'll pump it up in a... Man, because we would go for weeks for
just
training
enough.
camp.
A lot of boxers used to...
Yeah, we do. Mixed martial arts go to Big Bear, train at 9,000 feet so that you get full red blood cells pumped in there. Yeah.
And the thing about Big Bear is... sometimes you want to sleep high, train low.
Yeah.
So you can sleep there, get down and train low, and then get back up again.
Oh, because while you're resting, you're developing the blood cells.
That's where the red blood cells.
Oxygen to your,
exactly. This guy knows his stuff.
That's why I brought him in.
Yeah, I'm real pumped to be sitting with you, sir.
Because I figured you guys would connect.
We could talk for hours.
Now, what do you think about hyperbaric oxygen therapy, like down here at sea level? Do you think that there's enough time in the day? Like, you got to sleep in it every night.
There's two different things.
Okay.
There's hyperbaric chambers, that's pumping more oxygen in.
Yeah.
So you would use that to recuperate, burn victims, this, that, you can use.
Of course, yeah.
But I've actually, back when I used to do the ultra cycling races, I would sleep in a tent.
Yeah.
That would pump more nitrogen in, pulling the oxygen out. So you start sleeping at 8,000, you get used to it, you move it to 10,000, you move it to 12, 15.
So it pushes your body to develop the oxygen on your own.
But here's the thing.
Because you're starving the oxygen
You need to be in it
cells.
for 10, 12 hours a day.
Oh, to see the effects? Because
You're not, people at 7, 8 hours, you're not going to see much.
Because your system has to adapt to the lack of oxygen.
You need to be there longer.
I see.
But it does work if you really. There was a woman who did Mount Everest a few years ago, and I think New Balance or one of those companies paid for it to have it at work. So her workspace was that, and at home.
Uh-huh.
And they got her. They flew her up to base camp, helicopter, and she was able to tap the top.
Oh wow!
So it can be done.
You mean without oxygen?
Yeah. No, she had oxygen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, very few people in the world.
Yeah, you have to be like
I
genetically
didn't know with all the hyperbaric
gifted.
talk if she was able to do it without
well,
oxygen.
everyone there acclimates for months, right? But she acclimated while she was still at work.
I see.
And they still can't, I mean...
you still have to have oxygen.
Yeah, unless your name is Anatoly Bukharev or any of the people that live right there in the region, the Sherpas.
What's new and exciting in the world of health? Is it... I mean, we talk about meat, we talk about eggs. Eggs, best thing you can eat, right? Kind of perfect food.
Still, yeah.
There's cold plunging. There's, sauna, infrared sauna versus traditional sauna. There's a thing that I don't like, but they closed it down, so I don't really care. But the Equinox that was on Sunset, they shut because of the fire.
Right.
But I was able to use it for about a week before they shut it. And I'd see everyone go from the fucking sauna into the cold plunge. And I was like, you're all covered with sweat.
Just bad
It's bad.
Yeah. And they'd go, well, I like the heat and then into the cool. And I'm like, yeah, but they tell you to shower and wear trunks because they don't want your sweaty, hairy ass literally opening the door and then getting into the cold plunge. And the water is not piped in or circulates. It's just a tub. There's no
Armenian oil slick on the top of it.
Yeah. Yes. But what is the difference between the infrared? Have we settled on an infrared versus a traditional shot?
All right. So I hate. All right. Infrared is a lie.
It's a lie.
And people are going to go, Vinny, I know what he's talking about. Actually, I do know what I'm talking about. These things can't get hot enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I did weight cut science with this, and we have that red sauna. Sauna's good. It gets hot, but when I put him in the regular sauna, he cut the weight way quicker than in the infrared sauna.
Yeah, because you can bring, if you get up to 180, 190, that's what you get in a regular sauna. Infrared, what? You're lucky if you see 150.
Yeah.
Lucky. I mean, look, here's the Mason-Dixon line. Not as a sauna expert like you two, but as a mechanical expert. If the shit plugs into the wall, doesn't run off at 240,
thank you.
Fuck it. It's not going to work. You buy it on Amazon, you plug it into the wall, your daughter's room, she went off to college, it's running off 110, 120 household current. That ain't going to heat up. You need
not enough juice. The wavelengths are not.
You need the 240.
All the crap about, the red, it gets in. No. It's a lie created by the people selling you the product.
On the flip side is the stupid ice bath. It's not an ice bath. It's just like it sprays you with cold air, and it just they have it everywhere.
What is that thing?
That thing.
It's not a cold plunge.
It gets up to 300 degrees.
Yeah,
Cryo.
whatever.
I got in that thing and said, you got to put these mitts on your hands. I went in there. I hate being cold. And I was like, I know it's coming at some point. And they went, all right, that's 3 minutes. You're done. I'm like,
no. It's a joke.
Are we kidding here?
It just gets your nipples rock hard.
It didn't even do that for. I'm like sitting there going, what? I'm glad I didn't pay for it. You know,
they got them at all the UFC gyms. They have like a weird deal with them, but it doesn't work.
Here's the deal. They have infrared things that you could put on your head to grow hair. Put it on there. Let me see if it grows hair.
Right.
It's not going to do it. Just like the infrared sauna is not going to.
So you need sauna. The sauna's got to run off with the dryer runs off of the 240 with the special plug.
You need the big ugly plug. Almost European looking
and if
thing.
you ain't sweating, you ain't in the sauna.
That's correct.
All right, there's that. And then as far as the cold goes, you know, you can use a swimming pool during the winter months. You can just, you know, I've been displaced. Fucking Equinox is closed down. I just go into the shower. You just stand there for a second. You just blast it on cold.
Oh, that would hurt.
And it hurts. And if you're in Boston in January or something, it hurts hard. But it's really about the shock. It's not really about soaking in it. It's more of like a jarring mental whatever. But cold and hot, good. Just don't get all sweaty and Armenian and then jump into the fucking
Sweaty
cold
and Armenian.
It was a sore point in the story.
Yeah. What's new in the food realm? Like any supplements, anything that we've learned that's newer? Because I don't know, in a weird way, maybe the Greeks had it all figured out. I mean, maybe it's all just red meat and eggs and exercise, and it's really.
It's the same thing I've been yelling for years. Get enough magnesium.
Magnesium.
Magnesium makes a big difference. I was yelling about that 10 years ago. Now everyone's on it. The most studied supplement in the world.
Magnesium in supplement form or found in?
Get it in supplement form. You're not going to get enough in your food anymore.
Take it in the morning? Because they say take it at night.
Take it twice a day. But if you take it at night, it'll relax you more. That's why the nighttime thing came around. The problem with a lot of different magnesiums, if it's just straight carbonate and you take too much, you're going to have a problem. You know, think about it. Milk of magnesia when you were a kid, it made you crap.
Right.
So you want to make sure you're taking a broad spectrum magnesium with all of the magnesiums. Creatine, it really does work. It's the most studied supplement on the planet. And it will give you an edge because it works within your Krebs cycle. It makes energy. It helps with ATPs and everything.
I don't know. The thing about creatine is, like, we have some here. I never get the dosage part figured out.
You can mess that up, yeah. You get real locked up if you have a little too much.
You don't want to take more than 5 grams a day. So that's like a little teaspoon or a little scooper.
Well, they come with the little scooper cappy thing.
Level that off. That's 5 grams. And here's why.
A day.
We make creatine. Your body makes it. So it's a non-essential. You get it from meat. You get it from eggs. You get it from a lot of things. But you can supplement it at 5 grams. These kids that are taking 20 grams, even the ones that do the loading, Mayhem knows this, the loading phase and all this kind of stuff. No, because it's going to make your body down-regulate the creatine. It's kind of like guys that take steroids, right?
Yeah.
Their body down-regulates, their nuts shrivel up and everything. It's the same, you know.
Where are we with certain, like, you know, God, what do they call them? The night-blooming vegetables, or the sort of the Tom Brady, or they don't eat tomatoes.
Nightshades.
Nightshades,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Like, I mean, I know, I can hear Vinny saying, look, no one gets fat off of eating fruit, and no one gets fat off of eating vegetables. But if you want to make yourself pineapple and banana smoothies, you will get fat.
Yeah,
like there are not all fruits are created equally, and not all vegetables are created equally.
That's correct. But there's a yes and in there, or a but. You know, you don't want to have potatoes, right? That's on the glycemic. It's all about glycemic. You know, if you bring your glycemic level up, you're going to get fat. It's just a fact. I don't make this stuff. I wish I made it up. Then you could call me a liar. But, you know, you got guys out there saying, oh, you got to peel a tomato. Peel a tomato?
All right.
Are you freaking insane? Take the seeds out of a tomato. You ever try to de-seed a tomato?
Not lately.
You got that kind of time?
No.
Oh, the lectins and the... No. You see, it's a bunch of doctors who can't make money being doctors, so they write a book about lectins and this, that, and the whole thing. They're bullshitting people. No one ever got sick from a tomato. Go to Italy. You want to see some healthy people?
Right.
The longest living men in the world are in Sardinia.
Right.
They're eating tomatoes, and I guarantee you, they're not taking the cover off, the seeds out, and the whole thing. They're cooking it, they're eating it.
So lots of olive oil.
The more olive oil, the better.
Olive oil is the one thing that nobody ever reverses course on. Like, we have arguments in this country, in my lifetime, the arguments over red wine, coffee, and eggs have just gone on in perpetuity. We've now, at some point, just got to a point where just went, look, if you want red wine, you want fucking coffee, and you want eggs, just go eat them. I don't care anymore.
Right.
Like, but we used to argue. It'd be a thing. Red wine's good. And red wine's bad. Coffee's bad. Eggs, nonstop egg debate for 50 years.
Cholesterol?
Lots of this. I picture my poor grandpa Laszlo he liked his little poached egg. Now, he had soft boiled egg. He even had a holder. He had a cup. He had a trophy for a gerbil that held this thing up, and he liked to crack the top and pull the top
My wife
off.
is European. She does that.
Yeah, they do that.
So weird.
And he loved his thin rye toast from the German bakery that he could put butter on, and then at some point it was taken away from him because it was explained to him that margarine, and he had to eat, porridge instead of the egg. And I felt bad for him because he was needlessly suffering when he could have been eating what was actually good for him.
If you go to any of these doctors that do hey, we're going to check your blood, we're going to check you for allergies. Whenever someone comes, I have my blood checked, it's like, let me tell you, they told you to never have an egg again, right? Yeah, they told me I'm allergic to eggs. Yes, they tell everyone. Every one of those kooks will tell you you're allergic to eggs. And the fact of the matter is, no one is really allergic to eggs.
Yeah.
Or very few
I would think
people.
that the staple foods, like he said, olive oil, that's like developed in the Fertile Crescent. Like olives have been with us, humanity, for eternity. So it, of course, is going to be good.
It's only good news and then better news. It's an olive oil. Everyone you talk to, people who disagree on everything nutritionally don't disagree on olive oil.
We all come together, the polyphenols and everything else. Yeah.
Where are we? What about, I hear sourdough bread?
Yeah,
and then I hear where people go, well, you travel to Italy. You're eating pasta every night, never gain an ounce.
That's true.
Because they got the good stuff over there. They got the good stuff over there. And here, our stuff's all junk. Shit, our bread, our pasta, it's all bad. But if you could get the good stuff. And I'm like, well, half the shit I see says imported from Italy on the land.
Yeah, but it's still, they can put all the crap in it to sell it to us. They can't do it for them.
But I think to myself, all right, if everyone is just telling me you go to Italy, you get the good stuff, you have pasta every night, you never gain an ounce, well, then where is that available here? Because somebody's got to go, well, we're just going to have it available
basically
here.
Be Amish. You got to make it yourself from scratch. Yeah.
And
you're not buying it.
There's nice restaurants where they go, pasta made fresh here. But they're not using they're using our flour, not their flour.
Good luck getting the good stuff.
So there isn't. So nobody in all the talk recently of this has gone, I'm just going to import the shit they sell.
I think some people do, but it's so expensive. I mean, restaurants work on a margin that's just nuts.
But for you at home,
you could probably do it. It's going to be a cost. But
then what about? And is there a company or something? Is there somebody who makes that?
Probably. The way you could get everything online now, you can basically,
Yeah, well, Andrew, what would you look for, though? Would you look for, made for Italians in Italy or something?
I don't know how you would find it, because I don't eat grains at all. But, they have, 1 or 2 ingredients.
Right.
Or 3 ingredients versus we might have pasta with 15 ingredients.
And what's all the sourdough talk I hear?
Okay, that's like you're a smoker.
Right.
That's like saying, okay, I went from Camel to a filter.
Light cigarette. Yeah.
That's what I was
It's
thinking,
better.
yeah.
I mean, it's better, but it's not.
You're not getting
I can't imagine a grain touches your lips in a long time. No rice or brown rice sometimes?
Nah.
Never.
No, we discussed that on the show a long time ago. White rice is actually better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I told you white was better, but no one would listen. And
we listened.
Kind of
they clipped it.
Brown rice matters.
All right. So, speaking of being allergic to eggs, I was watching. Someone tweeted me in New York. They'd flooded the bike lanes with the fire hydrants, and kids were all playing like it was 1972 in Harlem.
That's cool.
Like it was throwback, right?
Yeah.
And There are, of course, the poor kids, because the rich kids,
go to the pool.
white rice ain't going down there. That's the brown rice, right? And it was like literally someone just turned the key on a fire hydrant, flood the bike lanes that no one uses anyway, and the kids were like had the Ziffy board and were sliding through the, what was, it's street water essentially. I'll show it to you, which is kind of funny. I'm funny in that it was very 1970s New York, but I was looking at it, and I think we have it somewhere. We'll put it up. Yeah. And I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, yeah, these poor kids. I don't mean poor kids. I mean kids that are, disadvantaged financially. And you had to make your own fun. Summer fun. They're making their summer fun out there, and they're all brown kids, and they got their trash can lids, and they flooded the street. And I'll just play it to you for a second. They got the fire hydrant shooting the stuff out, and they're all. It's probably all Spanish, right?
Yeah.
You can turn it up so we can hear it, probably. Yeah, there's that part where it was discussed. And they flooded the bike lane, and they're in inner tubes and running around in their shorts
like
and
this.
everything.
Yeah,
I like it too.
this.
I'm all for it too.
Water park.
Number one, number two. But here's what I'm saying. All right, I want all these kids tagged. I want to tag them. I don't mean graffiti. I mean like a polar bear, like a migrating whale or something.
I thought facial recognition
like
software.
the ring around the wrist.
It could be an ankle. I'm not a weirdo.
Okay, yeah.
Or it could be the ear. I can notch the ear. I'll notch the ear.
Like a cow?
It's very painful initially, and then almost nothing.
It's like an
after
earring.
that. Yeah. I'll notch the ear. I'll give them a number. We'll get a scanner on them.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back and run into these kids when they're in their early 20s, and I'll ask them, do you have any food-related allergies? Do you have any environmental allergies? And the answer will be fucking no. Because I floated in a street full of soot. And by the way, that was my parents' idea of a good Saturday.
Yeah.
I went home. We had 3 cats and 4 dogs. We ate shit. No, there was no 5-second rule. There was like a 5-day rule. Shit fell on the floor. And I guarantee none of these kids are going to have any foodborne, allergic to eggs, allergic to gluten, nothing. They're not going to have anything. And then you take the white kids who stayed in, who got bathed in Purell, who were never allowed to go out because their parents will look at that and go, that's disgusting. You want to go out there and catch a disease.
Right.
Hear that, kids? Take a sip of street water.
Right.
But no one our age, Mayhem, how old are you?
45 coming up.
So you're around that age where it could, you guys get allergies and.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, in
our no one our age, 60. You're at least 60 now, right?
Yeah.
No one, nothing.
Yeah, listen, I just heard about peanut allergy. I can't imagine somebody would be allergic to something so banal as a peanut.
No, nothing existed. Nothing existed.
It was just unheard of.
Okay, well,
it was also it's a kind of a luxury when you're poor to be just here's what I'm saying. You're poor and you're going to say, no, I can't eat that. I can't eat that. I can't eat that. It's like being raised on a desert island. Whatever fucking floats up to the shore, you're eating it.
Absolutely.
You don't have any. That is a luxury going, no, I don't do that. No, I don't do that. I did everything all the time because I was hungry and I was poor. So it's a bullshit luxury item. And then eventually your system does turn on you because you deprive it of any type of exercise. It needs to push back a little, needs to fend some things off, and you raise them in a bubble like John Travolta in the 70s. Deep reference
bubble
there.
bar,
That's a great plastic
but
bubble.
Look, it's that whiplash I was talking about. I was in the desert with normal people. Mm-hmm. Everyone's just drinking black coffee and running and doing it. I drive from there to here. They told me wait an extra half an hour. Went down to the coffee shop, to the Starbucks. People are walking in, I need soy this and half whip that. Words I can't even put together.
I came up.
And I'm sitting there going, and they're not even dressed properly. It's like, did you look at yourself when you left the house? I had such whiplash from that.
I have a theory about Starbucks and its wild success, wild growth over the last several years. I have a theory. It's women forcing other people to listen to their bullshit. So they go in there and they go, I want a soy. Do you have soy? Or you do soy? Do you almond milk or soy milk? Because every chick I know is this way. Because I go in there and go, it's going to be tall black coffee. Room for cream? No, just tall and black. Good. I'll put it in if I do it. Go there. Yeah. Done. I don't need dominion over this squire I'm speaking to. Women need to go and they go, you got the soy or you got the almond or you got the coconut? And they go, we got coconut or almond. Okay. I wanted the coconut, but you got the almond. All right. Okay. So get some feelings out. I want you to know my feelings about coconut versus almond.
Yeah, I see.
All right. So give me let's do the almond latte, extra hot, light foam. Light foam. I've heard of light foam.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Do you like foam or do you not like foam, bitch? Are you pro foam? Are you anti foam? Are you sort of middle foam? No, light foam. What it is I have instructions for you. Oh. You need to listen to me, and you need to be dutiful about these super inane instructions.
Ordering coffee is a process.
It's basically who invented the train on the gown. You see the Met Ball?
Yeah.
It's bitches. Bitches, get behind me. What do? Just fucking walk behind me.
Yeah.
Look down.
Yeah.
To look down, no eye contact. You carry the back part of my dress that normally drags in the street, but you just go ahead and do that. It's that. It's like now it's the bridesmaids.
Yeah.
You're gonna be wearing purple. I look fat in purple. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Wearing the purple.
Yeah.
And by the way, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get in the bridesmaid's dress. I'm going to get my wedding dress. You carry my train. We're going down to the Starbucks. And I'm going to order a super complicated fucking drink. And then my head will explode and I'll die.
Feminism's final boss.
I want the least amount of conversation with the person behind the counter. They want the most. And then at some point, disappointment sets in. I asked for light foam.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is medium foam.
Do they really do that?
Oh, it happened.
I was at a Starbucks. I was doing a race at Laguna Seca. I was at a Starbucks in town, and I actually heard the light foam request from a bitch. And I can't make this shit. I'm not smart enough to make up light foam. I don't even know that's a thing.
I was going to ask, is it the tight foam or is it like bubbly and loose?
Oh, no. Now you're getting into
medium
whole foam
cell,
conversation.
clustered light foam.
Yeah.
But this bitch wanted it hot, extra hot. I don't even know.
A little fluff.
Coffee is coffee. What do you mean extra
hot? You have to sit there for an extra 10 minutes.
You could get to 212. That's it. What do you mean extra hot?
I tell you, that's the whole point. I do believe that the success of Starbucks is women ordering around people.
Commanding.
Command.
Well, forget, it started as a luxury item. Like people had that cup and were like showing it off. Like the thing before...
But wait, you know what the new thing? I heard this yesterday. There's a new thing now where, get this, ready? Kids are now, they figured out they can make coffee at home.
What?
I'm not making that up.
Unreal.
They're making coffee at home. And a few months ago, I'm sitting there, I talked about it on my podcast, the kids started raw dogging airplane flights. And I was like, what does that mean? It's like, they get on the flight, they don't watch a movie, and they don't use any electronics. You mean every fucking flight before like 10 years ago?
Right.
So I was raw dogging it my whole life and didn't know it?
That's right. Yep, raw dogging.
I don't even know what raw dogging means.
Well, what they do is they take a behavior that existed for 100 years and then they give it a title, and then they launch it like it's something.
Yeah.
And it's called economy class, and fucking sitting there. That's what it's called.
The first time I got on the plane, we didn't have much money when I was a kid, but when I played college football, we were flying right to Colorado to go play, and we get on the plane. So the team is on commercial flight.
Mm-hmm.
When the flight got in the air, they started handing out cigars, not to us. We wanted them. We were in college playing ball. But that was available on
first
planes.
Class. Or just if you bought a cigar.
I think first class got them, but then they were like offering. They were handing out cigars in a tube. Not in a cigar tube. We're in a tube.
Yes.
Now, you can't. I don't agree with smoke. I like that no one smokes. I like that no one smokes on the plane. But when I first started flying, they weren't just handing out cigarettes. They were handing out something that puts out way more smoke.
Like a hookah bar.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's just old stuff. Somebody tweeted me a meme a couple of days back. He said, tell young people that there was a time in this civilization where we had a phone number that you could call if you wanted to know the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I remember calling the time. Because I could call this number. I know what time it is.
Was the number popcorn?
Oh, like it
think
worked out that way?
it was spelled out as popcorn. I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
I never did. Crying is awesome.
Get up when you want to. Okay.
All right, pause it for a second, Dawson. She did the thing that's now in vogue, which is she walked from the back of the plane to the front of the plane to deboard. And look, when you do that, by the way, I've been sitting on the aisle up front when people have done this. You stare at a guy's ass crack for 22 minutes. I mean, by the way, you can say what you want about, male intimacy, but the reality is I'm 6'2", I'm sitting on the seat, this guy's 6'2", and he's standing there. His ass crack is 9 inches from my face. Right. It's pretty rare. I know for you it's a fucking Tuesday and a figure 4 with some dude.
The guy in the crotch.
I rarely have my head in that proximity of a strange guy's asshole. Now,
I'm well aware of it myself, bud.
It'd be a weird, if you just thought of a thing where it's like someone goes, look, you sit on this folding chair, I'm going to have a guy stand on an apple crate, and he's just put his ass about 9 inches from your face. You'd go, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, we'll do it for 20 minutes. Will you just sit there? The fucking aisle is 16 inches wide. This guy's fat. You just sit there. So listen. Okay, million things. So she's doing it. She's doing this thing. There are many... Not everything is codified into law. Yeah. There's just certain decent humanity, sort of like when you're driving. It's kind of a zipper, go ahead, I'll merge, and you go, then you go. Like sometimes you do that, go ahead, and 3 people go, and you go, okay, that's not how we do this. One at a time, we're going to zipper in, we're going to merge. She's just doing this, and the people are calling her out on it, rightfully so. We'll play a little more. And she's firing back.
You're just a Karen, and that's just the way it is. Just deal with it, people. My God.
I dated this lady.
Shut up. It's not affecting any of you.
It does affect you. You have to wait longer to get off the plane.
You're the Karens about it because you're the ones who are making noise. Nobody's bothering you. It's not even in your...
I just love there's a kid crying.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Perfect.
Fuck up. Yep. Because you've never said one. I can tell you have. Oh, yes, I can. Given your accent, I can tell you've said the F-bomb.
You can be a jerk. No, you're not going to insult someone because of an accent. We're not doing that.
Don't put your finger at me.
Okay?
This is a low IQ human being.
Yeah, it is.
You ain't going to change this.
She's enjoying this.
Yeah. No, I dated a mean Iranian lawyer just like her.
Really?
Who's vicious and likes to
all
argue.
the time,
they
like
love
that.
A constant argument. That's just how she talks.
So everything
she's
is a
happy.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
She just wants to win, no matter what. Look, and not to be racial, okay, but I have students that are Iranian, very stubborn guys.
Really? Oh, listen, there's a reason why that fucking place is a shithole ashtray. It's a culture. They have a shit culture. Not all of them, but
not all of them.
Enough to ruin.
Enough for us to be angry and bomb
enough to ruin enough to ruin a region.
But she's enjoying this. You see, I've always said, if you take the woman in the pink and the 2 guys, I always say, it's the sound of one hand clapping. Don't give them the other hand. You have no sound.
I pulled that move and just dead silence, and I don't understand English.
I'm sad to say that there needs to be an intervention at this point. Like I fly first class sometimes. I never got the you get on the plane first part of first class. Right. I never. What's the biggest perk is I sit in the front of the plane and you bang my knee with your Samsonite times 250 people that get on the plane and then we leave.
By the way, I don't get anything. I'm sitting there now. First class is not first class. You order a scotch, they'll be like, sir, wait till we hit our cruising altitude. You know, it's not like you get a cheese platter or anything. You just sit there and get eyeballed by everyone who gets on the plane. Why is that a good thing? So here's what I'm saying. You know, I've said to people a million times, what if we're just taking a bus to Phoenix?
Right.
And they go, all right. Well, Adam, the average ticket on this bus was $33. Yeah. You paid $87. Yeah. So you get to go on the bus first and wait for everyone to load up. I'd go, how about this? How about I'll go sit at that bar, and then when everyone's loaded up, you can come get me, and I'll get on the bus, and then we can leave. How about that?
First
I'm going to
class.
spend an extra 40 minutes on the bus?
All right, so I have a thing. I always ask my wife, because she makes all my flights, how big is the plane?
Right.
Because if it's, I fly in first class a bunch, and if it's the one where you turn,
if you turn left, you're in first class. If you turn right, you're not in real first class.
Yes, but you have the big wide seat, even if you turn right. But here's the problem I have. I feel like if I get on that plane before anyone else, I feel like everyone's judging me for being in first class, and I don't like that feeling.
Well, I just maintain eye contact to assert dominance.
Well,
so I
here's
get on
where
last.
I was going. Here's
I'm
where
always
I was going.
getting on last.
I get on last.
I'm just
I
kidding.
get
I'm
on
just
last. But now in this new world non-order we're living in, I've gotten on last and had to have my bag gate checked. Ooh. And I'm like, hey, bitch, I got a first class ticket on this flight. And it's like, well, they filled your overhead space. The assholes going to the back of the plane threw all their shit up in the front of the plane. Yeah. So now we got a problem. The problem is you're unloading your bag up front and then go sitting in you're in aisle 27. You threw your bag in aisle 3. That's where my seat is. Right. But you got on before me and nobody polices this shit anymore. Now we land and you get up at aisle 27. You walk up to aisle 3 and you put your fat ass in my face because that's where your bag is. Yeah. The one is perpetrating the other. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. We need to fucking police this shit. You have the space above your seat. You don't have the space in the front of the plane. That's the space of the people who bought a ticket in the front of the plane. Yeah. That's the new rule. And also, you don't get to use the head in the first class either. You didn't pay for it. Yeah. Tough shit. Literally. Go to the back. Now everyone's just like winging the curtain open and flying in. I'm going to go shit up first class, and then I'll just go back and sit in coach. Yeah. Fuck that. You didn't pay for it.
And I think it's a lot of money. I don't do the tickets myself, but I think it's a lot of money.
First class, it kind of depends. But what people don't really get about the first class is like other forms of life are sort of like you go out to eat, you know. Well, you go to a decent restaurant. The burger's $26. All right. Well, how much is the steak? Well, the flank steak's $49. Okay. What's the filet mignon? That's $51. You know, it's just kind of incrementally moving up the list. First class, you can fly first class. You can fly coach to New York for $289, and you go, what's the first class? That's $3,300. Like it's
I don't think I'm paying that.
It's not twice. It's it'll vary, and it can, and sometimes it's a little bit more, but that's when you turn right, and it's a smaller plane. Yeah. But if you want to fly to New York and you want to turn left, you're not talking about 2 or 3 times what coach is. You're talking about 9 times what coach is.
I might have to have a talk with my wife.
It gets crazy. Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, they can go,
I don't know what things cost.
No, you just crashed his budget today.
If she's a good woman, then she'll say, I use your mileage to upgrade you or something.
Yeah, that's what she tells me all the time. It's like, we have so many miles because of your
She's trying to get you to shut up.
You ever sleep? You ever get the sleeper thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never have. That's like,
dude, you got to get Adam to get you a sleeper seat.
Yeah. Let's go, I did find out. I was talking to a young guy once, and he, I don't know how it came up, but he was like, "You ever beat off on an airplane?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." I guess the guy was like 6'4". You know, I go, "Yeah." Stand up in that little bathroom with your head pressed against it, whatever. He goes, no, I did it laying down.
Really?
I go, laying down? What do you think? I should have got the sleeper. I got the cocoon with the. I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So look forward to that.
I've not tried that.
No, but the guy flew before you did. And you're now in his bad water basin.
Eskimo brothers.
Talk about bad water. All right, there's 34 seconds of this left. All right, we'll play this.
Yeah, it is.
You ain't gonna change this.
I love when they say ain't and they talk about low IQ. I use ain't and I'm in a doctoral program. Oh, wow, it's a big deal.
Big
I don't
deal.
say ain't.
He's a lawyer.
Really racist. Oh my God, what? Do you even know what the word racist means? Wait, you're white. That's racist. Maybe xenophobic if you're talking about accents. Maybe get the vocabulary right. Right when we get off this plane, I'll meet you out there with my bar card.
He's got a bar card.
If the video goes viral, you'll lose that too.
Sure.
Yeah, I should call her.
I just love that there's a kid
You like that, don't you? I'm looking at you.
No,
You like-
no, I hate that, and I'm so glad I left it behind. But it reminds me of the exact. And coincidentally, she did lose her bar card.
She did.
Yeah.
Well, look, here's the new world order at the airport. If people can fly with their dogs, they'll fly with their dogs. Dignity's dead. Dignity hit some rough air, hit the side of a mountain, and burst into flames years ago. So there is no more dignity at the airport.
All right.
There's only strict enforcement of everything now. There's no more, we're taking anyone's word for anything. There's dogs at the airport. There's poop all over the airport. We need stringent regulations and enforcement. Sorry. We never thought we'd come to this place in a society where we had to say you can't throw the bag up top, you can't shit up first class, you can't get up early and go walk to the front of the plane. We get off in the order that you're seated in, but we're going to have to start. That's where we're at. And the problem is they decided somewhere along the way, sort of 9/11, around 9/11, and then COVID kicked it into a different realm. We decided that the stewardesses or the flight attendants or whatever, now there was like, we're here for your safety. We're here for your safety. Yeah, you're not here to do shit. It'd be like if you went to a restaurant and you sat down in a booth and you just went, "Could I get a martini?" "I'm here for your safety." And you went,
Right.
"Yeah, I want a drink though." "Yeah, well, mainly here for your safety." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm feeling pretty safe. I'd like a drink and some appetizers. I'm here for your safety. Well, let me check on the drink. It might take a while." That's kind of what it's turned into. They used to be there to bring you shit.
Right.
Now they're here for your safety. So now here for your safety. No more enforcing anything. No more bringing you shit. No more anything. And so there's nothing inherently dangerous about any of this activity, and they just back off. Plus, no one will talk about it, but there's a weird classism thing that we've all freaked out about, which is I go, "Hey, I pay an extra $1,000 for this ticket. I don't want that fat ass from Coach coming in here and shitting up my head." And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It sounds pretty elitist to me. That's like, that's just math. You know, it's like I go to the casino. I go in with the whales. I do a lot of gambling. I get a comp room.
Absolutely.
That's just how life works. That guy fucking playing nickel slots, he doesn't get a comp room. Why do you get a comp room? I get a comp room because I paid.
But it's basic meritocracy. If you work hard and you have extra money and you want to have something, you want to have it. It doesn't make you a bad person. When did that become a bad thing?
Oh, let me tell you. I'll tell you when it became a bad thing. It's all our fault. It's not the poor people. It's not the dumb people. It's not the lazy people, and it's not the politicians. First off, politicians just lick their finger and go, "Which way is the fucking wind blowing?"
Right.
What are we talking about? Black Lives Matter? Yeah, okay, I'm down with that. What is it again? What's it stand for? What? Ivermectin. Yeah, what's that? Horse paste? Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll just say whatever the fuck I'm going to say.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care. But this started a long time ago, and we started to kind of realize that rich people, it started in the 70s, but I wrote in one of my books that would, a son, there was in America where a father went on a walk with his son and saw a guy go by in a big Mercedes up to the hill, up the top of the hill of the house. And the father said to the son, "That's Mr. Jenkins. He's a successful businessman. He studied hard in college and he built a business for himself. And you know what, son? You study hard. You start a business. You work hard. One day you're going to have a house on the hill and a Mercedes Benz." That's what we used to do. Now The guy passes him the Mercedes up the hill, big house on top of the hill, and the dad says to his son, go find a rock so we can throw it at Mr. Jenkins' Mercedes next time he drives by.
But why? When give me the why.
Okay, I'll tell you why.
Because I grew up wanting to be Mr. Jenkins.
Me too. And I'll tell you exactly why. There are many more poor people than there are Mr. Jenkins.
But that was the thing back then, too.
Right. But you have to take a look in the mirror and go, why is Mr. Jenkins successful? Like, okay, I work almost every weekend. They go, well, you got money? Yeah, I work fucking Friday night, Saturday night. I work every weekend. But if there's 52 weekends out of the year, I work 37 weekends. All right, you don't work weekends. That's fine. You get your weekends, but you don't get the Mercedes. You know what I mean? And I saw it in my own family. There's a lot of shame that goes along with it. These people fucking know they made mistakes. They didn't work hard enough.
Right.
They like drinking more than they like working out. They don't like getting up early. They just fucking want to enjoy themselves. You know, whatever that thing is. It's shame-based. But there's enough of them now where they can commiserate, and no one wants to find a mirror and figure out why they're not Mr. Jenkins. Instead, they get angry, and then they start talking about, well, Mr. Jenkins' dad, that guy's the guy who started the business. He was born on third base and thought all the stories about Silver Spoon, Nepo baby. I know tons of successful people. None of their parents were rich. Nobody was born on third fucking base. According to them, 92% of successful people were born on third base. They never want to hear the story about the guy working weekends and busting his hump and working 3 jobs and having the shitty job in college and so on and so forth. And saving and being responsible and not having a family until you're married and finishing high school and finishing college. A disciplined life. They don't want to hear it. It's shaming to them. Politicians realize there's a lot more fucking lazy-ass dumb fucks than there are Mr. Jenkins. And by the way, my mom's lazy vote would cancel out Mr. Jenkins. Right. So when Gavin Newsom is making a speech, he's talking about the poor people, the brown people, the people that don't have a chance, that can't get a leg up. There's systemic racism. There's, they're impoverished people. There's systemic this and that, income inequality. And then the dumb people are going, that guy's getting my fucking vote, not the hard work and discipline guy over here. That's when it started. It's been going on for a long fucking time. And the reason I know it's been going on for so fucking long is I had a very unpopular saying I would do on Loveline. For me, it's easy. I've been speaking to a microphone for 30 years. So I just go back and go, Drew, what was I saying in 1997, 1996? One of the things I used to say all the time is I go, I'm a millionaire. Literally a millionaire. And the reason I would say it into the microphone, because it sounds asinine, is because I was constantly being told, listen, this is K-Rock. We got a bunch of 14-year-olds from Orange County or skateboarders and stuff. They don't want to hear about you flying first class. They don't want to hear about you going out to a steakhouse. You got to pretend to be one of them. You'll get their vote, meaning they'll listen if you think they're them. I go, I'm not them. I'm funnier than they are. That's why I'm a millionaire. So I would go and I would make a joke about it, and no one else would do it. I just go, I'm a millionaire, Drew. Literally a millionaire.
How did Drew feel about it? Did he feel the same way?
As a 14-year-old skateboard kid, I loved it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Drew was scared shitless all the time.
So he didn't like
Drew's
that.
Drew's been a pussy who's been scared until like 10 minutes ago he had an awakening.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck all this. But he was always scared. And I would always say it. And the reason I said it is because everyone was telling everyone. There used to be shows. Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to Morgan Fairchild's home, her palatial estate. You know, I'm a carpenter, right? And I'm a home improvement guy. And I've said a million times, it'd be a great show. Be a great show if I went out and I had my buddies. They're all, successful comedians, have these cool barns and these cool places, cool homes, and all this cool stuff. I would go tour their house with them or whatever. Every single one's like, listen, I don't want people to know what I got. I don't want to be hated because they find out I got 9,000 square feet in Bel Air.
But that just happened. I mean, before that, they had Cribs, a show called Cribs.
Yeah. Right. Well, listen,
right?
black people are immune to this shit.
Black people?
Just black people don't get. Arab and black people don't give a fuck about this. They're like, fuck it, I'm buying jewelry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they wear it in football games. I feel it's like someone's going to grab that.
Somebody's
going to
lose an artery to that shit. Yeah. But Whitey is like, listen, well, see, thing about black people is no one goes, your dad owned the plantation. You know, they don't do that. You know, they go, they know your dad was fucking poor.
Right.
Whitey, they assume your dad had money, so they want to tamp it down. So, no, we have to round down. We have to pretend like we're all fucking poor. And that's why it's going on. Like, even back in the day, you'd see, like, Letterman. And Letterman be sitting there and have some rapper on or something. They go, I just bought a new Rolls Royce. And they go, let's talk about it. And they go, how much for the Rolls Royce? They go, $120,000. And Letterman be like, that's a little rich for my bloods. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, right.
Like, hey, you make $32 million a year. You make $32 million a year. A lot more than the rapper guy makes. David Letterman, you buying a Rolls Royce be like me buying a used Festiva.
Except
right.
Didn't he buy like a whole race team? Or
Yeah,
something?
he did. But it's always tamped down.
Yeah.
All right. A little rich for your blood. A little rich. All the late night show guys. So it's a little rich for my blood. They average $25 million a year. I think they can afford a luxury automobile. But it's always a little rich for their blood. And that's how that's the whole. And we went that way, and the politicians went that way. Why is everyone telling a bullshit story about their hard scrabble upbringing? You know what I mean? We were lower middle class. I slept in my car. I didn't. It's like they'll always tell, but it's first off, they can't escape the reality. Like they'll go, they always do this bullshit story where they go, lower middle class. We didn't have money growing up. My dad's a blue collar guy. When I was hiking through Spain when I was 19 for the summer, I slept. I go, you went to Spain when you were 19? Well, yeah, but I didn't stay at the Four Seasons. It's like, you went to Spain.
Yeah,
that's enough. Yeah. My first semester at Duke, it's like, okay, you went to Duke. You're not poor. You're not fucking poor. Stop.
I think it's a little
poor.
bit more impressive when somebody who comes from wealth can make it to the next level on their own, because, you know, the realization that you have money when you're like 14, 15, your family has it, you can kind of do whatever you want now. Mm-hmm. You know, once your brain forms, it's more impressive when somebody ascends from third base to home run.
Listen, I'm more impressed. I agree with you. Like, you know, Donald Trump's dad did real estate, did commercial real estate. I don't know, he did apartments in the Bronx or something. Right. And then he picked up that business and he moved it to Manhattan. And he built skyscrapers. Like, you know, a lot of other son became an alcoholic.
Yeah, he could have been a pilot.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, in a weird way, the son who's into wealth and then takes it next level. I think you could have an outdoor sign business and take it from two buildings to 50 buildings or whatever. Right. Like that guy, because that guy can coast, whereas we were desperate.
No, I think Miller's right, because, every kid I knew when I lived here for 31 years, all the trust fund kids had no ambition, no nothing. And now they're talking about the ones that were living in the Palisades, right? It's like, you don't understand. All the Palisades people weren't rich. Yeah, because they were given a house and they didn't do anything else. Right? And that became a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I have the phenomenon of fighters. Some fighters who are from good families and now, like, trying to be elite athletes in mixed martial arts. And it happens, but more often than not, I got a kid with nothing who's just a beast of an athlete. And
hungry. All right. I'm going to be in Zany's, Rosemont, Illinois. That'll be Wednesday, doing stand-up shows there. Well, guess who's working this weekend, everybody? July 17th, doing shows at Road America. July 19th, I think that's Saturday. Oh, working Sunday, too, in Milwaukee, Pabst Theater. Oh, working another weekend. Got so lucky with my dad being the head of show business. Yeah.
Get on the road, Carolla.
Get on the